Destiny.
So, welcome the YouTube audience back to NODWIN Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and with our styling partner Philips One Plate. We've got a lower bracket semifinals matchup between Godsreen and Aster Army.
Both these teams are looking quite sharp, but unfortunately they find themselves in an elimination match. The loser of this game will end their journey in NODWIN Valorant Challenger South Asia. The winner will continue to play onwards in the lower brackets, where they will most likely face the loser between Orangutan and their opponents True Rippers later on tonight. There are two matches today, ladies and gentlemen, so you better stock up your popcorn.
Oh yeah?
It's gonna be a banger of a day.
Hey, not just popcorns, man. How can you forget those potato chips, Crips? Those are
Everything.
W, alright?
Everything. Potato chips, french fries, pizzas, burgers, whatever. The whole works.
Maybe french fries are a little too expensive, so we can boil down on that. But yeah, potato chips definitely can work too. So you guys can stack up on all your snacks because we've got the players moving out. Vic, we can't talk about this man too with how he's been looking like so far on that duelist role. He has been able to pump up his kill numbers so far in the playoffs, and I'm pretty sure today as well he's going to be looking pretty good. He's got a big bright smile on his face, so that's the good news for Aster Army. And now we've got the man, the myth, the legend, Goalie and Tix walking out both these players. Tix has been proving himself so far. Goalie is one of those consistent players inside the team that has really been there for them. Doxer 2 from Aster Army is another one of those players that we need to look out for. In general, every single player in both of these teams' lineup is phenomenal. And today is the right time to activate yourself.
Oh, the right time would have been a couple of matches ago when you were still in your opening map and you didn't have the risk of getting eliminated. That would have been the ideal time. But the second best time is right now, right here. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, these teams are facing elimination, so you can't afford to take any risks. Velocity tried experimenting yesterday, and you know how that turned out. But at least Aster Army have had the chance to look at their matches yesterday and figure out what Godsreen do and don't like. It's gonna come down to map veto. Hopefully these teams can play to their play to their strengths.
Wait, is Godspeed not here today?
Isn't he?
No, he's not.
I mean, maybe we don't see him on camera, but I'm sure he's there in everyone's hearts, and since he's the coach, in their minds as well.
Oh, so I mean, jokes apart though, I don't think so he's on the venue. I haven't seen him, right? I don't think so we even saw him in the walk-ins as well. So yeah, let's see how much that's gonna affect Godsreen, considering he's not gonna be here in real time to guide his team towards victory, because yesterday's tactical timeouts were definitely helping out Godsreen a ton. So hopefully today we're going to be seeing the similar type of playing pattern, the similar type of playing style. Moving on forward towards the map veto, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have Aster Army go for the first ban. Let's find out which is the first ban going to be. Lotus makes a lot of sense. Aster Army said Lotus is a chink in the armor for them. It's quite a weak map for them. And then Godsreen is going to go ahead and ban out Fracture. Interesting. I mean, it is sort of helping out the players of Aster Army. This veto is literally helping out Aster Army.
Exactly. I mean, Aster Army confessed that Fracture is one of their weaker maps. Understandable that Godsreen don't want to play Fracture because they're not that great on it either. But would you rather face them on a map where you're both weak, or would you rather face them on a map where they are definitely strong and you have been shaky? Ascent, it's a red flag because God's Reign struggled against velocity on this map yesterday. At least Haven's neutral ground.
Crips, I think so we're going 3 maps. I think so we're going to go for the decider map inside this one. Because the first 2 maps are looking quite close, man, and nothing much can be said over here, Crips. On the other hand, we're going to have Icebox and Split being banned out, and Pearl is going to be the decider. Interesting stuff, interesting veto. We're going to start off with the 2 classic maps right off the bat. We're going to kick things off on Ascent, where, of course, Pistol Round will be the decider off the pace. Soon enough, we will be moving up forward. But, as you said, Ascent is one of those maps where God's Reign recently have been looking quite shaky. On the other hand, Aster Army, they've been looking pretty phenomenal on it, so they should definitely have the momentum favoring them. Let's move on forward and take a look at the Asian select.
Yeah, since it's Ascent, I'm not going to be too surprised with the agent selections unless somebody picks up like a chamber or something. I don't think we even see anything out of the box over here. I do want to throw some little light on Pearl though. Aster Army have only played 1 match of Pearl in this entire tournament, and that was against Lethal Esports, so they never really got their metal tested on it.
Makes sense, right? I mean, Pearl being the decider, let's see. If it's being left out by them, they should probably be ready for it too. It is all the way at the last map, so somewhere down the line, Aster Army should also have a little bit of experience when they're facing their opponents to exactly know what the playstyle is looking like, and they're going to be way much more prepared for the map of Pearl, considering they're going to be going through them already with 2 maps like Ascent and Haven. And okay, Godspeed is there. We just did not see him during the walk-ins, or maybe did we? What's wrong with me? Did we? I don't think so we did, right?
I have no idea, buddy.
He's in the booth. He's in the booth, though. Okay, that's the good news for God's Reign. That's all we know, all right? And that's all we care about. Because he's there. That's the good news. That's +1 boost right there.
I mean, it would be weird to see him not be present on the venue, you know, considering we just saw Godspeed yesterday. But then again, God's Reign are battling a little sickness. Most of their players were not feeling well, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone decides to sit this one out. Given their current state and the fact that their health isn't at their pristine, Aster Army shouldn't have. Yeah, their gameplay is always pristine. That's always pristine. You know, it doesn't really matter what your health is like. But I just hope that Aster Army are able to find this edge somehow.
Speak about the edge, and we're already starting off quite nicely. This might just be fiery round that we're looking for. Recon dart out in the mid, and all the players are now going to stack up towards the cat and try and go towards the tree area. Good fragment to try and delay the push, at least for a while, but Coley finds a kill in mid. That can be a huge one indeed. Fight's taken by Wink, and instantly was able to get the traits down as well, but this might just be a little questionable push coming in from Aster Army. They did find the entry on the site, but now it's down to a 3-on-3 scenario. Coley's softened up a bit behind Generator. Soon enough, if there are some utilities flowing through, he will be capitalized. But Autumn decapitates him through the smoke. He's on a 3-killing streak, and he will get the 4th one as well.
Sheesh, Autumn doing so well for starters. Quad kill with the Sheriff, and that's a stylish way to start your round. This was quite an orchestrated affair from God's Reign now, wasn't it? You saw that Aster Army was trying to peek out a B-Link at first. They threw in a bunch of utility, you know. They used the Recon Dart as well. They even used the KO Knife. Recon Dart didn't see anyone, but the KO Knife detected 3 of them. And that's why Aster Army decided, let's not hang out on mid too much. Let's use the smoke and get towards Cat as quickly as possible, because this makes sure that Tree is going to be relatively defenseless. They would have expected only 1 defender to be somewhere on the ace side, and while they were somewhat correct, Aster Army decided to force the fight towards the Heaven window. And this was directly coinciding with the path that God's Reign was taking to get back on ace side, which resulted in a 3v3 instantly. And then Autumn does what Autumn does best. He goes in for a mass murder.
Force though, Crips.
Yeah.
From Aster Army. Let's see how it works out. Light armor's on the board for them, and Wink is going to dash towards Generator. They found the entry on the site. There are a couple of scans through the recon drone, through the recon dart, but still no kills being found so far. Tix was able to get one, and Autumn so far is able to just line up these bodies. He gets another one with the Sheriff. We will find the second one too. This man's aim is feeling on top of the world right now. He's not missing any shots. He also lands the 3rd headshot onto Dominic, but unfortunately, it was through the wall, so he didn't really get the kill instantly. But Dominic was only able to land that 1 single kill. But you got to give it to Autumn, man. He's able to land every single Sheriff shot so far.
Yeah, he's looking very sharp with the Sheriff, and then Side drops down from heaven, and he turns into the demon himself, dispatches everyone in hell back to where they belong, into the Netherrealms. And with this, the force buy of Astrami has been denied. They're gonna have to wait one more round before they can purchase real weapons. And this gives God's Reign a chance to not only convert their bonus in a very good fashion, but also keep up their momentum going into the 4th round, which will be the round where most teams are expected to buy full weapons.
Autumn's already got like 4,500 credits. And he's also got his Blade Storm up. Impressive stuff, huh? He's still keeping the Sheriff that he bought in the 1st round. Even more impressive. But Astrami, on the other hand, though, economy, of course, looking in shambles. This is their eco round. Wink is trying to get some close affairs done. Closing up. Trying to find some peaks of the opponents. God's Reign, they're playing quite disciplined. Not really peeking out just yet. Spots out the alarm bots. Gets rid of it. Wapor, he knows. They're not still pushing out just yet. Just playing for that contact. And God's Reign are not going to give it to him.
Yeah, it's also quite disciplined of Abort in not activating Nano Swarms instantly. He does it only when Wink is close enough. So this guy has some sixth sense. The jump spotting is amazing because Astrami can't deal any damage to him. And even though Astrami are trying their level best to sell a fake towards the A side, God's Reign don't budge. In fact, they've got the perfect read on this one. Autumn's now marking mid and will gradually head towards the B side where the full hit is coming.
30 seconds.
Oh, finally they decide to move in. Throws in a fragment towards the lane. Wasn't able to get through and will also get the kill secure. Autumn, as we all said, this man is looking sharp so far, so you definitely do not want to challenge him on a duel because he is not going to miss any shots. And Autumn is able to shut down too. Another flawless round in the hands of God's Reign.
Jesus.
If we go easy on
Not only
them,
do they
they
convert
will
the
never
bonus,
learn.
but then they can continue using these Spectres up in the next
What
round
is
where
going
Astrami are
on?
going to have all these Vandals. And just for that added firepower, Autumn picks up the big Zoom Banger.
Here.
He's got the op.
Turn out.
Big what?
The Zoom Banger.
Bots coming back.
Okay, I mean, something I've heard for the first time. Zoom Banger.
Seriously? We've got
Yeah.
so many nicknames for the op.
I mean, I like one nickname myself. It's like the Big Bad Gun, you know what I'm saying?
The big bad. No, the big bad gun is Odin because that's actually kind of trash. That's just my opinion.
No, like, okay, dude, like, listen, bad means like, not, like, okay, it's hard to explain.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
bad
yeah.
always doesn't mean like bad, you know what I'm saying? It can also be a good bad. Okay, the people who are listening to what I'm saying are probably going to be confused and they're going to hate me for this. But hopefully the people who are understanding, they will understand.
Yeah, they will. Astrami once again trying to approach Art. Sorry, not Art. We are not in Pearl. Approach Tree. My bad. But the smokes in the way kind of stopped them. And the smoke that Astrami put up over there kind of indicates that they wanted to go towards window, but that's not the case. Autumn's now in danger. He dashes back. Wink follows right through. And that's the opera out. The crossfire on B is not strong enough from God's Reign yet. Vibor peeks out of the smoke simply so that he doesn't get cut out from the action, but now he's cut out from the round. And Sai is blind as a bat. Has to defend this site by himself, if not, at least just buy time for his teammates to come through. At this range, the Spectre can do damage, but that's just way too tall of a task.
Wasn't able to find any sweet spots, and he will crumble down as well. Hoax has got the operator. We'll go for the save on that. A wise decision indeed, but God's Reign, they still have a load of money they can rely on. Operator being safe, that means they should still have the big gun in the hands. Nothing much to worry about in the upcoming rounds. Definitely God's Reign, they will have the good weaponry as well. Equal weaponry to the opponents. Vandals and Phantom should be on the board for them too. So the upcoming round will definitely be a true test. But for now, at least Astrami are able to secure one round in the hand. So the scoreline is going to be 3-1. But they're going to send a couple of players on the hunt.
Oh, they definitely should. Astrami went all the way to its defensive spawn once again, hoping to recover that op. Even if they don't want to use the op, it's fine. They just don't want God's Reign to carry it forward. God's Reign already have plenty of money, so this op on top of it will be the cherry on the cake.
Interesting stuff. Here we go. Vandals and Phantoms on the board, but so far we're just seeing Phantoms on the board from the side of God's Reign. And I like the fact that they're utilizing Phantoms. In my opinion, Phantoms are better than Vandal. One of the reasons being you can spam through smokes and not get spammed back because you cannot see the bullet tracers. And that's a big problem in South Asia. We've seen a lot of those players spamming through the smokes and then instantly getting capitalized upon. And that's one of those reasons. Try not to spam with a Vandal, especially in a high-ranked lobby, because you will always get spammed back by the opponents.
I don't know about spamming back, but Doxer is holding really far back. He didn't even go close to A main so that he doesn't get detected by the 0 point. But this patience, will it pay off though? Autumn's already aggressing ahead. If Doxer can play his cards right, he can get the Opper decapitated once again. Meanwhile, Aster, they tried making an approach towards the A main area. After throwing in their own 0 point, they don't really find anything, and now they're heading back catwalk. So yeah. Oh, the started is going to give away the position of Doxer, but since it doesn't ping back at Autumn, they don't know that an Opper is present over here. Oh, now they do.
Yeah.
Will this discourage Aster from going mid? They weren't planning on going there anyway, but now the A is about to get hit, and it's going to hit too hard.
Highly doubt that, but here we go. Wink. Once again, this is his playing pattern whenever they want to hit the A side. Wink will always extend towards the window. We'll get the heaven control as well.
30 seconds
And then
left.
he will keep the opponents guessing where exactly Wink is positioned. And so far, look at the amount of pressure this single man has been able to create on the side. But Godsreen, Sai gets 2 of his own and then instantly gets taken away. But he's done his job. He's done more than enough. But Doxer in the back lines will now start to capitalize and shut down the opponents in the front. A gut flash to try and nullify the player in the front. And he does get the pick. Autumn, the last man up and alive, is trying to get rid of the lockdown. And he eventually will destroy the lockdown. But it's a 1-on-2 scenario with only operator in the hand. There should be a couple of guns on heaven, but there's a man waiting for him to peek out, and as soon as he does, Doxer will decapitate him.
Doxer, the hero of the round, shuts down whatever Sai was up to, and Sai has been looking phenomenal so far. So Aster needed this hero performance to counter that. Only a villain can fight a hero this way, and Doxer doesn't mind being the bad guy. He was playing all the way back in A long for the most part. And while his teammates were going ahead to want that strike, he joined in quite later, after his teammates had done most of the brunt work. Then all he has to do is just keep the area secure, and he doesn't even need his util to do that.
Standing ahead.
Good stuff by Aster. Let's see if they can continue this momentum, because they will need to get at least a couple more rounds in the bag before they break God's reign economy.
So far, not a lot of moves from both the sides, right? Just playing their defaults. Just playing for the info. If anyone's pushing up, they're holding their angles right. They've got a decent amount of time left. 1 minute 15 seconds, and as soon as I say that, Autumn gets one in his hands. Mid control pretty much being denied, at least for now, and also he's been able to buy a lot of time for his teammates.
And look at the setup. Sorry to cut you off. Look at the setup change from God's Reign over there. They've changed their KJ util from mid towards the A site. And instead of having anyone mark mid, they have just closed down this door. So if Aster want to crunch B main, they'll have to break this door, which acts like a natural alarm bot of sorts. And now the rest of them start chiming in.
Speak about that, and once again, side dreams in the back site. Whenever this man is caged in the site, things can be a little problematic for the opponent teams because you can never count him out. He still manages to get killed somehow. Autumn's on the other hand though, slides in the site, gets one for his team, but is now way too low for comfort. 19 HP left over. He will also start to get spammed through the walls, but Hoax gets 2. Good trade of his teammate. 1v1 scenario, and Doxer comes out on top.
Sidesteps his way to victory. What a peak. Yeah, that was quite a good hit from Aster. Agreed that they lost the man right at the beginning because of Autumn. It was still well orchestrated by them. They had to break the door to get through into the B site, and that does buy God's Reign quite a lot of time, but they still weren't able to get the rotations in over there. Vibhor couldn't really do much. In fact, Vibhor isn't having a great game at all. It's been 6 rounds so far, and he hasn't picked up a single frag.
Yeah.
All he did was cause a little bit of damage, but even Sai, who was supposed to be a solid anchor, could not do much. But look at what Autumn's up to. This is quite an aggressive approach.
Oh my God.
And he's a monster. He is relentless, gets 2 huge frags. And he dares Aster to recover from this.
Already starting off with the man down. Doxer is trying his best to at least trade things up and even things out, but he's just got one in the hand. And yeah, he got it through the spam as well. Talk about Sixth Sense, and that's one of those prime example of that. Now it's a 3-on-4, definitely doable considering the opponents do have a man short. But you guys started off with just a 3-man. That definitely has to affect your mentality a little bit. And now look at Autumn. What a quick adjustment from this man. This man is just so fluid on the sights. He gets another kill for his teammates, and Dominic teleports all the way to the backside. Now he's got way too many players trying to approach him. Good paranoia to try and nullify at least the players for now, but not for long. And Hoax will shut down Dominic.
Oh, it takes the life of 4 people to set up a successful push for Kohli. Yes, he's gonna find the A side empty. He
30
can even
seconds
go to
left.
the plant, but at what cost? 4 lives for 1 plant? I don't think that's a hefty. I think that's too hefty of a price to pay. And God's Reign don't mind giving away the plant either. They know it's a 1v4, so they would much rather grab onto one side with all their strength rather than give away 1v1s to Kohli.
10 seconds left.
Oh, the plant's coming in a bit late, but Kohli still manages to capitalize. At least found Vibor. He's got the Hunter's Fury available. He's probably not going to go for it. He's also getting scanned through, and he's also getting chipped away through the walls as well. Kohli, way too many players in the front approaching him, but Side Dreams is just going to sheriff him down. Deactivates the opponent and will get the round activated for his team. God's Reign so far, they're looking pretty nice, but as you said, Vibor's not really able to activate himself. But with the way these two are really able to perform, especially Side Dreams and even Autumn, man, I highly doubt his other teammates even need to wake up.
Exactly, but this is such a big adjustment from God's Reign. Yesterday against Velocity, God's Reign were refraining from making any aggressive moves towards the defending side. And now look at them. You have a high mid push from Autumn 10 seconds into the round. Where was this God's Reign yesterday? If we saw similar plays against them, against Velocity yesterday, then maybe God's Reign would never have lost the first map at all. So this is definitely a new adjustment from them. This is something they learned from yesterday's loss. I hope that Aster can also recover just as quickly.
Let's see what Vandalic's got to say. So far, the game's going quite close, so we're not really seeing that much amount of frustration from Vandalic. But if you remember, the time when we saw Vandalic play last time, this man was getting so frustrated. He was having so many emotions. It was a roller coaster of emotions for this man. But hopefully we're not going to be seeing that similar amount of circumstance for him. One thing's for sure. After that previous game was done, he must have given a huge listening for the team, huh?
I guess, yeah. I mean, that's one very contrasting point between both of these coaches. Vandalic is not afraid of showing his emotions. Happiness, sadness, you see it on his face. But Godspeed is not like that at all. He's almost always calm. Even Sai pointed this out in his interview.
Giga Chap, right? Not showing his emotions.
Can be unhealthy according to some people, but we let this one slide.
It depends what type of person you are, right? Some people, it didn't really work out. But for now, I'm going to hold on to my words. As trades did happen back and forth. Down to 4-4, the site control's given away. Aster, they've got the stroll on the site. We'll also get the plant down. Hunter's Fury utilized 2. He did manage to find tags on 2 players. And instantly, Kishi as well was starting to capitalize. Good picks, and Aster Army, and now they've only left God's Dream with the last 2 players up and alive, Sai and Autumn. These 2 star players, so far, they've been able to perform pretty nicely, but I highly doubt they're going to be able to perform better this time, because considering there's way too many players in the front, too many utilities to try and dodge, they're also getting chipped away with the bullets from underneath, and yeah, they will fall back.
Yeah, they're better off saving their guns. That op is way too expensive to lose out. And in a 2v4 like that, they don't even know if Doctor has planted his nanoswarms over there or not, so there's just way too much on their plate to devour. God's Reign. Jeez, they pick up the pace in 1 round, they send Autumn towards high mid right off the start of the round, and then Aster do the same. This was like a blitzkrieg approach. Within a few seconds, you had these guys rushing into the A site. I like Krat's shot.
Wait, what? He's sitting in the audience? What just happened there? How is he sitting in the audience? Yeah, that's the watermelon shirt, man. That's like the classic shirt. It's one of the favorite shirts that even like Krat likes. Yeah, and I think so. Like he also likes watermelon a lot.
Right here. I think we all do. Summer can be quite hot.
Oh yeah.
But if
Watermelon
Autumn
juice.
shows up, then the seasons will definitely change.
I mean, Autumn's able to bring in a lot of heat so far, though. With these type of picks, he's able to find Jet versus Jet battle, and this time Autumn's able to win it out. Wink being shut down. Wink all the time is one of those players who's taking the risky moves, trying to make sure his team's able to get that side control in the hands of that well enough. And Kishi, good pick being found. Player in the front shut down with only Bulldog in the hand. That's why he wasn't really able to win that duel. But now this is where God's Green problems will start to occur. But still, Autumn single-handedly is just dedicated to stopping this push. Operator will be deactivated finally, and Doxer's hitting some nutty shots. Aster Army, you gotta say, Doxer today, he's feeling himself as well.
The spike has been recovered, but Kishi has been discovered towards the side. The 0 point revealed his position, but Hope still misses the timing. And Kishi has been phenomenal in cracking open this site. He's got two very important picks in this round. And it finally takes immense efforts to put his killing spree to an end.
The spike.
Kishi, though, single-handedly managed to take the side control in the hand, so that's definitely quite impressive. Sai, on the other hand, was still able to shut him down, but it was a little too late. Lockdown initiated, will be taken care of, but still not just destroyed yet. The lockdown is still on the board, eventually gets destroyed, but Side Dreams from the back will use that as a distraction and take Dominic down. Nicely done. Godfrey, and they finally get another round on the board.
Yeah, they let Doxer plant the spike deliberately because he was just 1 point away from the lockdown. As soon as he had it, he planted the lockdown. He didn't even care if it was in a safe spot. He was just so scared of getting jumped immediately that he just planted it right there. I mean, that's as safe of a position as you can get in a situation like that. But like I said, this high mid position is being exploited by God's Rain way too often. He first had Autumn pushing in with that Blade Storm. He got quite a lot of kills. And now Vibor is able to start a backstab over here, getting what could potentially be his first frag of the game. His second frag, rather.
Speak of that, and we've got the Odin on the board finally. And Kishi's the man who's able to bring it up. I really want to know the intentions behind that Odin. Well, Coley's the one who brought it up, but I really want to know what are the intentions behind that Odin.
Yeah,
what was the main reason why he brought it?
I mean, you don't see an attacking side Odin all that often, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, want to know what he's going to spam through. Has to be some sort of an area, right? Where Coley will probably be able to get that spam. Maybe the chance over here is that they're going to execute the A side, and in the post plant, he will just spam the entire heaven. Yeah, I think so. That's the game plan here, Crips.
Yeah, fire from below. Have a wall of lead being showered upon anyone who's trying to enter from that region. There's not too many major ultimates available on Aster Army. But if Kishi gets a kill and a plant, then he can get the numbers. Straight up dashing in. And Wink had way too much on his plate. Gets shut down by Tix. Autumn with the off also is able to contribute a little. But Hoax is still alive and kicking to his generator. He's been a big problem so far.
Yeah. We're down to a 2-on-2, and this is where the lockdown comes in, even from the side of Vibor. Doxer, he knows he needs to get rid of this lockdown, but instead he will just start to fall back with his teammates. But unfortunately for his teammate, he's going to be able to find a little bit of cubby for himself in that binary area. With that being said, they've also given away a lot of time for God's Ring to try and capitalize. Both the players are now towards the site. Jump spot from side will give the position away, not able to catch anyone off guard, and they're going to cross through on the site. Wilport not really able to capitalize in time, and this is where Side Dreams will now start to close up from the side of Heaven. Wilport as well will start to get a little desperate. The kill being found. Aster Army, things are now in their favor. Look at Doxer wrapping around all the way back towards Vindo. And on the other hand, Kishi is trying to cause some distraction, and Doxer perfectly played.
Very good, very good. And that's what happens when you leave the door open. So you see, before they started to fall back to escape the lockdown, Doxer hit the switch. He opened the door, and then he started falling back. I was assuming it would be because Aster Army tried to go back high mid and then come back to the A site via a shot, but that didn't happen. Instead, he used it to flank them heaven after the spike was down. So that's very good adjustment. It was risky. It was bold. Because Vibor could have easily shot them down from the tree region while while Aster Army were trying to make their way back onto generator. So it's a risk that they had to take, but damn, this wish pays off well.
What? He's left unchecked, but eventually he gets taken down. But still, quite an interesting position he was in, and Tix now is going to start to connect his shots with the Sheriff. This team has been looking quite deadly with the Sheriffs in the hand, and they prove it once again. Tix with a 3K will also get the 4th. He's fighting for the ace. He's looking for the last victim. But Doxer has managed to get his entry on the site. And I'm pretty sure Godsreen, they're going to let Tix on fire. They're going to let this man get the final kill as ball in the hand. Does manage to find the first connection. Tix doesn't really have a lot of HP to back him up. And Godsreen, they slowly and steadily start to progress on forward towards the site. Last man behind the box, and Doxer finds them both. They both line up in front of him, but Side Dreams is able to capitalize. That Thrifty being converted, but still got way too close for comfort.
Dude, Tix with all those picks, he hits them like a bunch of bricks. He slaps them in the face. Silly. 4K. Extremely stylish. This round was supposed to be done and dusted. Aster got those 2 opening kills. Hoax's push was completely nullified. So I thought, yep, there's no way Aster fall to this. And then comes this monster. Holy hell, it scares me to my core just seeing these shots.
Impressive, huh? Tix and Autumn, I mean, both these imports speak about the supremacy, and these 2 imports are really out here proving that. Timeout being taken from Aster Army. They really do need that after getting dismantled in such a brutal way. They need to catch a little bit of breath, and Vandalik probably has some sort of info to give in, and the reads of Godsreen. He's probably able to catch some sort of clues on the opponents and how they're going to be supposed to counter them, because so far ASAD has been quite off that pressure point for the side of Aster Army. They have been able to find those entries too, but we haven't really seen that B take a lot of those times.
Yeah, we really haven't. And even when they hit the A side, it's not perfect, you know, because that door area has been a big problem for them. You see that one round where Doxer hit the switch? That worked out for them somehow, even though on paper it was a risky move. But this time there was a tiny gap in the smoke which they used, and Tix was able to get so many more frags. The first 2 shots that he hit, fair and square, those were some banger shots. But then the other 2, as he was able to fall back to his tree, those were just simply weren't supposed to be there.
Turret out.
And he was only able to get it because there's a tiny gap in the smoke. So Aster can't afford to make those mistakes.
Alright, a quick stroll, and this is what we exactly talked about. We haven't really seen one of those B takes quickly enough. And that's what they do make happen. Switch control taken in the hand. Lockdown was initiated too, but unfortunately for them, they're not really able to flow away with the kills. And Hoax is able to find 3. Autumn and Hoax single-handedly, these 2 players, they shut down the entire push. They try to bring a little bit of variance in the pace, and a little bit of change in the pace, but everything they tried to bring in that round, it got nullified. It got shut down within an instance.
Yeah, and you did point out that Aster don't like going to its B very often. Now you know why.
They even had the lockdown. I still feel like they should have waited a little bit for the lockdown to have its effect, and then maybe try to make it on the site. They should have sent Wink and another man in the front just to make sure that these 2 are trying to get those traits. But with the way Hoax single-handedly got those 3 kills, and then Autumn in the backside with the operator, man, it was just an absolute pleasure to watch. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the second half.
Can't for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Can't for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the land of mystery, where we're going to have now the roles being switched. Aster Army on the defending side and Godsreen on the attack crypts.
Yeah, so far, Vibhor and Dominic, both of them not having that great of a game. Even Vink hasn't been able to show up. I mean, forget the frags, at least Vibhor is still placing his utility properly. Dominic missed a couple of his smokes, which allowed that stylish Sheriff 4K from Tix to come through.
Wait,
You can't afford to miss your smokes in a match like this.
how many kills does War have? That's what I want to know.
3.
He does? Okay, you saw it? Alright. I thought maybe he's only got like 1 or 2, but three. Not bad, not bad. Let's see, maybe he's gonna be able to flick things around. And
No.
okay, well, I guess I just jinxed him as soon as I try to say that, but
Yeah.
Aster Army,
Spike
they've
planted.
got all the players up and alive, so that's good news for them. They start to make the rotation towards the site. They've got 2 players dedicated towards the tree area, and it's going to be a quick flood on the side as soon as the gates are open. Godsreen, on the other hand, though, they're looking to extend forward towards the heaven. And as always, Autumn on this position will try to catch at least one man off guard. But Hoax, that was a shot through the smoke. Godsreen, they're really getting blessed with these shots. Good recon there to find the position of the player. Now they know there's one player dedicated towards the generator area. But all 3 are going to stack under heaven. This is quite an interesting stack. The Frenzy's not going to connect. And the running gun from Doxer is a little annoying.
Very annoying. He's pulled it off like 2 times in this map already.
Now sleep.
Once against Sai, and now once more. So yeah, Aster Army playing quite nicely. And I appreciate the fact that Hoax and Autumn tried to play aggro towards heaven. They can't afford to just hold the crossfires under hell, especially when they don't have the man advantage. So they tried to nullify the advantage. They tried to bring it back to a 4v4. They were somewhat successful. But that recon dart not getting broken gave Aster Army all the info they needed. They know that they now don't have to worry about A main at all. So they just focus fire towards generator and hell.
So lineups are being used. Let's see where exactly it's going to land. Interesting. Right on the face of the A main.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
yeah, the early area of this A main isn't cleared up. The next area has a strong crossfire. Wink playing on contact, Kishi playing on swing, but it doesn't matter when Autumn's hitting shots like those. Bladestorm, Bulldog, doesn't matter what he's got. He will decapitate you.
Yeah, and that's a force too. Aster Army, they've already lost out on 2 players now. They've only got 3 more to work with. Tix has got a sheriff in the hand. Oh, I'm telling you, these guys, they're way much more insane with the sheriff than with the rifles. And they have proven it so far. Autumn, on the other hand, though, I mean, he and his teammate, they got the mid control in the hand. For Godsreen, this is looking like a date with destiny. Exactly the 4-spy round they wanted. On the other hand, for Aster Army, it's a date with Nightmare.
Yeah, they've failed their force by rounds quite often. Even in the first half, they attempted to purchase Spectres after losing Pistol, and it backfired. I mean, at least this time they were justified in purchasing after winning Pistol, but it's still gonna result in a disaster. Doxer can't win the duel against Hoax, and this seems like a gone round already. Dominic is trying to spam through the smoke,
Knife,
but there's someone behind him.
Knife? Knife? No.
One enemy
You go for the knife? No? No, okay. No knife. Wilbor's not going to knife him down. Alright, could have been a knife kill, though, but still. I mean, Wilbor just wants to get those kills in the hand. It doesn't really want to troll the game away, but still. Coley is the last man alive with only Spectre in the hand. Next to impossible to pull off the clutch because all the players in the front are perfectly positioned to the post plant, so it's going to be next to impossible to pull it off. Coley still, though, at least will try to get away with some exit frags before he gets completely taken down from the game. It's a 7-6 the score line, and Aster Army, they're not going to be able to get a lot in their hands.
They definitely can't. And the 2 players who are alive can recover the more expensive weapons, the Bulldogs. So Godsreen can continue this momentum that they have, still maintaining the 2-round lead. And this was quite a nice and simple take from Godsreen, you know? They take it step by step. Send in 0 point first, then take aim in control. Have the jet move in a little by little. And they move in mostly from the right-hand side rather than trying to hit the switch. They leave it open for just a few seconds, and then after they've taken the first pick on the side itself, that's when they go to hit the switch back. Basically taking no risk. They don't want to get shot down by a random spam from the smoke.
Oh, a technical timeout, Crips. Something we all hate. Something we do not like. And can also prove out to be a momentum breaker, huh? It's been proven out to be a momentum breaker in the past for a lot of teams, and it might just be proven out to be a momentum breaker for Godsreen too. And thinks that we're having a couple of issues with Kishi's PC. we'll probably get it resolved soon enough. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a chance if you guys want to win this 1,000 Valorant points, all you guys need to do is go on over towards the Hindu stream, and there will be a chance for you guys to win those 1,000 points. But instead, you guys can stay with us and have a lot of fun looking at these games, because so far it's been quite a back and forth game and a competitive series.
Yeah, it's been a damn good series so far. Aster Army are keeping it very close. But there is one red flag though. Aster Army have always lost out in the second round, regardless of whether they win the pistol or not. So this is something they're gonna have to fix. Otherwise, they will start losing momentum in these early rounds of the game. And you lose them out a couple of times, it's fine. But consistently, yeah, now that becomes a problem you need to fix.
They should give Aster Army to catch their breaths and try and rethink on what exactly they're doing, right? Because once again, there's a lot of time being bought over here, and as I said, can definitely prove out to be a momentum breaker. So far in the attacking side, it was quite a back and forth affair, but these 4 spy rounds are really starting to affect Aster Army, considering they were not really able to win that. And because of that, Godsreen are able to have another advantageous position for themselves. Now they've got 2 rounds lead. It's not a huge lead, definitely they cannot rely on. It's not a lead with cushion, so Godsreen, they still need to keep the pedal to the metal and try and take the opponents down. And with how they can do that, one thing is for sure with Aster Army on their defense is that their rotations are really quick. So you can always try to fake a strategy out and bait that rotation.
I guess the baiting of the rotations hasn't really begun yet. We haven't really seen either of these teams try to punish somebody in the middle of rotations. The only time we saw like a glimpse of it was when they chased Autumn down, you know, when he was opping from the mouth of defender spawn, and then Wink dashed in to kill him while the operator was still in his hands. That was like the only attempt from Aster Army to actually go deep inside mid and try to kill God's Range before they can rotate into the side. But other than that, we haven't really seen that from them yet. Maybe in the second half we will.
Probably we will. But so far, Autumn, Tix, and Side, these 3 guys are the heavy hitters. And then we also saw a little bit of pop-up moments for Hoax when Aster Army tried to bring a little bit of variance on this attacking side. They tried to go towards the B side quickly enough, but then Hoax, he was able to single-handedly pretty much dismantle the entire push with the help of Autumn in the backlines with the operator. But look at these shots Autumn's able to hit. And all the time, especially in attacking side, it felt like Aster Army, if they're trying to play things a little slow, it was just giving chance for Godsreen to try and capitalize and move on forward and get an early man advantage.
Yeah, 100%. And this is so refreshing to see from God's Rain, right? Because, yeah, Tix and Autumn have been feeling their frags and they've been hitting some really nice shots. But look at the positions in which they are fighting. God's Rain were never playing this aggressively in the defensive hub yesterday against Velocity. And now that they have turned up the pace against Aster Army, it becomes so much easier for them. Even Vibhor was able to come through with this flank, and that makes it so much difficult for even the lockdown to be relevant in the hands of Aster Army. So I'm loving this from God's Rain. I love this new aggressive approach. And Aster Army are the kind of team that is relying quite a lot on executes, you know? So if you take away that space from them, if you don't give Aster Army the space they require to set up the execute in the first place, you're going to be cutting off their win supply, basically choking them.
And usually, if you remember, Aster Army, whenever they want to like hit the A side through the tree area, their pattern is quite recognizable. They will send Wink towards that, all the way towards the window side. He will extend towards that, get the heaven control in the hand, and try and at least nullify or cut down the rotations for a while. Because then Godsreen, they were not really able to rotate through because they knew that there's a man available towards heaven, and they do not really want to give on those head-on-head collisions against him, right? You might as well let him have that control, and then later on when he's going to play in the back lines with his teammates to the post plants, that's when you can try to go and try and get those post plants in the hands. But that move from Aster Army is definitely quite nice, asserting dominance over the opponent team and not letting them take that map control away from you and forcing them to play for the post plant.
Let's see if Aster Army can do much on these post plants. They were quite effective in at least getting to the site, A side especially. They didn't find too much success on B. I mean, that being said, they didn't even attempt to hit the B side as much as they tried A. But then again, God's Reign, in several different forms of retakes, sometimes by just flooding out of heaven, sometimes by crunching them from trees, sometimes crunching them all the way from A main in that one round where Vibhor was able to get that backstab. At least God's Reign showed quite a lot of variations in their retaking styles on the A site. I wonder if Aster Army will be able to come up with something similar.
Yeah. And hopefully this tactical timeout's being done with soon enough as well. And did you see Kohli's mouse pad? I mean,
it's so small.
It is so small. I do not see a player with such a small mouse pad at all. I don't even know how it's so comfortable for him.
I mean, I'm the kind of guy that needs one of those desk-long mats. I play
Oh,
on
yeah.
a really low sensitivity, and I'm pretty sure a lot of these gamers play on low sensies. So, large mouse pads are like a basic requirement.
I'm on high sense, but I still need a like big mouse pad.
Yeah.
I think so. It's just all about the comfort, right? And if you're just going to be utilizing your wrist for aiming, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's pretty good. But I still feel like hybrid can be a better option. You know what I'm saying?
And you've got a bigger desk. Might as well get a big
Bomb
mouse pad.
grenade out.
Oh no, there's
I know,
what if
right?
Kohli out?
Bomb grenade.
Kohli shoots down the
Bomb
Nanoswarm
grenade
before it can
out.
get activated. And now he's finally burnt out.
Yeah.
Vibhor lures him out.
Man, just gets cooked in that log area. God's Reign, a quick stroll on site. They knew the opponents don't even have the weaponry, so just try and push through. And that's what they exactly do. B-side control taken in the hand. That variety was
30
not really
seconds left.
being expected by Aster Army.
Spike
It was a
planted.
complete trap set up on the A side, but this time God's Reign are not going to fall for that trap.
Well, what kind of a trap is this now? Tix is trying to fight so many people at once. I mean, yeah, he does a lot of damage, but against that many classics, you are bound to eat a bullet or two. They're just trying to deny any of these exit frags and make sure that Aster Army can't get away with any of these guns.
Last player
But these
standing.
wide peaks are just so annoying to deal with.
Yeah. Those swings
not even-
sometimes.
Yeah, they're not even wide swings, you know? I mean, at this point, it's a pop-in swing, given how far they are peaking.
Pop and swing. But yeah, Vibhor definitely having huge smiles on his face. He's having a good time playing inside the game. He knows now his team is able to solidify a decent amount of lead that they can definitely work on.
Bomb grenade out.
And it might just give them a little bit of upper edge in the future lines too. But Kohli, man, he got cooked behind that logs area. Too much fire to deal with, and eventually had to force himself out of that spot. But unfortunately, in the front was Vibhor waiting for him. Vibhor's able to get 7 kills in the hand, tying up with Tix. As I said, bro, in the second half, he's going to pop off.
I hope he continues to pop off. It would be amazing. Vibhor didn't really have that great of a start to this game, but I'm sure he can recover. That being said, even Bing hasn't really seen his glory days so far. He's having somewhat of a quiet game too.
Oh my god.
No, that's an instant death sentence. And another one! Autumn didn't even get revealed, but he still eats a face full of shrapnel.
Dude, that is just so unfortunate. Bullets of pain to deal with from that Odin through the wall. Not even able to do anything at that point in time. That one single scan was more than enough for Kohli to shut down the man taking the ARP away. And God's Reign did not expect that Odin being pulled out just like that. Kohli perfectly done, giving an early man advantage for his team. And look at Wink where he's positioned himself. He's pushed up all the way outside A main with the help of his teammate, Kishi. And both of them has managed to find a lot of map control already. A good recon dart, another one used. Try to spam through once again, but Tix was able to get away in the nick of time. Shock darts being used, the man's quite low, and Kishi and Kohli might just get an ace in the hand soon enough. Hoax will be shut down by Wink from mid and takes the ace away.
See, now you get it. Now you know why I call it the big bad gun. It's so much more deserving than the AWP. Maybe bad isn't the right adjective over here. Maybe dirty is more appropriate. Look at these frags. They're filthy. Ugh. I feel bad for these guys. I mean, they're just walking into it.
Spike.
I guess, yeah, it does do your opponent quite dirty. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
But still, operator is operator. It's got the long barrel. You know what I mean? But Autumn is going to straight up dash inside the site like a bird. He's already found his way in. But Kohli once again. This man is able to give those early hand advantage to his team. And now we're down to a 3-on-5. Autumn with only 37 HP left in the hand. He's still going to push up with the judge. And oh, he finds one. But Kishi and his team was there in the back lines to shut the man down. Was not able to overextend anymore. Ticks in the clotheslines way too low. He's holding for the swing. But I don't think so. Aster Army are instantly going to go for that swing. They're just waiting for the lockdown to get nullified and get destroyed soon enough. And as soon as it does, they will start to fall in. And Tix is able to find the first one. 5 HP left over. Will be taken down soon enough. And now it's all down to Vapor. A 1-on-2 scenario. And too many players to deal with in the front. He's soon enough, he's going to get overwhelmed. Getting the spam through, but he catches a bullet right to his dome. 16 HP left over. And not a lot of bullets to spam.
Yeah, as soon as he goes for the reload, he totally just pushes him. He knows he'll never be able to finish the reload on time, so just runs him down, presses W. Wow, what a way to step up for Aster Army. The last round was a freebie. This round, they just outmaneuvered their opponents.
Ooh. I mean, I don't know how Coley's able to do this. How is he able to find those kills through the walls all the time? This time through Hunter's Fury. Last time through the Odin. One thing's for sure. Man's got X-ray vision.
Get out of my way.
And Autumn? Yep. Doing the cosplay of a bird.
The recon dot was missed though.
But this time
This
it's
one
not.
doesn't miss.
Yeah. All the players towards mid. They don't even have the superior weaponry, and this is where Aster Army, they start to take the advantage of the opponents. But Autumn's still going to be a man to fear from. He's got his hands on the Blade Storm on the other hand. Tix as well has got his hands on the Sheriff. Definitely two of those guns you need to be worried about if you are Aster Army. Vink is holding quite a close and a tight angle. And Godstream, if they're able to get their hands on that one, definitely would be a huge pick from them. There's a man in the off angles, and Kishi is able to shut him down.
Okay, Tix can probably find the opening over here. His teammates have been shut down towards tree. But there's a glimmer of hope if he can continue flanking. Wink has a fair idea that he's come close enough, but at this range, the Sheriff is deadly. He can get away with the op. Question is, where will he strike next? There's one behind him already. And what? Kishi had the jump over there. He had the advantage, but Stick still wins.
Tix able to hand out a haircut for the operator to the opponent in the front. He doesn't have the spike control available just yet, but now he's going to try to run over towards the spike and get it in his hands. Sai unfortunately died, and he left the spike down. 10 seconds left over in the hands of Tix. He will probably try to go for the save on the operator. He can help him out in the future lines in the upcoming rounds, but I highly doubt how much it's going to do in the attacking rounds when the opponents are not even going to peek out. They'll play disciplined.
I guess it can help with the mid fights to some extent, but yeah, you better have a rifle right next to you. It's kind of funny how both the KOs just exchange their flashes, so everybody's blind. And it kind of just put the round in a little bit of a stalemate after God's Reign attempted that take towards tree. And then when everybody recovers from their vision impairment and when the eyes are open finally, the Phantoms start to sing. So the A-shot push gets thwarted. And Aster Army tie up the scoreline. They've done this quite well. There was a time when I was worried that God's Reign will run away with this entire game. But Aster Army still alive and kicking.
9-9, scoreline tied up, and Aster Army able to make that comeback happen once again. We thought God's Reign do have a probable lead inside this matchup, but no, now it's being nullified once again. Definitely there's going to be a lot of pressure being felt from the side of God's Reign, and considering if they're going to lose out to Aster Army on the first map, oh man, I can already tell what's going to happen on the social media, huh?
Massive ultimate available on God's Reign. Hunter's Fury along with the null command. That's gonna be rough to deal with. Doxer has only one kill required to get the lockdown available. So even if he gets it online, he probably won't be able to use it without the risk of Sai shooting it down. Fast mid take from God's Reign though. Recon Dot doesn't reveal anyone towards the market region, so they take it for themselves, but then Dominic strikes from stairs. Autumn already destroyed. That was the judge wielder gone. Now Hawks is trying to elevate the pressure from this mid region, and he's alone over here.
There's a judge in the hands of Wink and SNS. If anyone tries to move over towards the lane, Wink will try to dismantle them, but Noah's the answer. Vapor now is starting to pop off. Definitely a player we needed to see being activated, and now he's able to find that groove. Gets on the site. Will also get the spike plant down. The recon drone is going to be able to spot out the player exactly where he is, and now they know exactly where the plan is too.
No.
Kishin peeks out right on the front of the operator, and Side Dreams will put lead right into his chest and buries him 6 feet under with the op. Still holding on to the aggressive angle with the operator, and Coley has managed to find a little sneak in, a little gap through the lane area. Will jump all the way to the boathouse in the back lines and still trying to find the spam on the Vapor. He does. He takes him down, puts him to sleep. Will go for the defuse, and will also find the last man in the front. What a shot from Coley!
Coley knew he had a very narrow timing window. As soon as he heard Sai fall back and take a little step back, he made his way in towards lane 1. He knew that the guy on site was isolated. Vapor was alone, so if he can just quickly find the kill onto Vapor and try to tap the spike, Sai will be forced to make a move. And Sai also doesn't have the luxury of walking around. Coley just predicts him. It was so quick that it almost seemed like a pre-fire.
Yeah. That's the small mousepad buff. I'm telling you.
Yeah, why do you want to flick to your enemies' heads when you can predict where they're gonna be?
Exactly.
And when they're gonna be, rather.
What's this?
Aster Army, Wink, he's got the operator in the hands, but still he decided to pop out that Blade Storm. Shaw was way too close. It whizzed past his opponents, but how is Doxer able to find two? Side Dreams finally able to shut down Doxer, but Wink in the clotheslines now. The Blade Storm will start to hurt and sting on their skulls. Is able to slice and dice his opponents, and now it's all down to Tix. The burning torch of lifeline for Godsreen. Tix, the last lifeline away. And Godsreen, every single thing depends on this man. If he loses out on this round, it will be 11 rounds on the board for Aster Army. Tix will go for a last-minute teleport. No, instead he gets the spike in the hand.
Nice. I thought he would use the smoke on the spike, hoping that his ultimate wouldn't be shot down. But Aster Army aren't fast enough to shoot it down, so now he's got another opportunity. Yet another smoke lined up. He can play on the back of these. He can hopefully isolate these fights. But Aster Army are smart enough. They are most likely going to rush him down together. And here comes the double peek. No, it's not there. The fragment kind of ruined it. What?
Oh.
At least Dominic is able to get this round back in control, but that fragment was so weird. It kind of stopped the double peek from coming through.
Damn, Johnny, he doesn't seem too happy with what's going on inside the game. I guess he's supporting Godsreen, huh? I'm neutral. I'm gonna say, may the best team win and move forward. But this double kill right here from Doxer, how are both these players not ready? I mean, yeah, the first man had the Blade Storm out, and just because the reason why he dashed on over, he needed to pull out the Blade Storm and then take the opponent in the front down. But still, the second man who was trying to play as a refrag role, he wasn't ready at all. He didn't even have the gun in his hands, and that's where Doxer got a huge advantage for himself, and he took both of them down. That's where Godsreen pretty much messed up that entire round from themselves. And now Coley, he's got the Odin once again in the hand and is spamming through. He's managed to find a lot of damage. Autumn being damaged up so much. And Coley, that shock dart's gonna chip him away a little bit more. 36 HP left over. What is this man gonna be able to do with that much amount of HP?
Well, that's a good question, which I will answer another day, or maybe I'll treat it like a rhetoric. But this null command is making it very difficult for Godsreen to make their way inside. Dominic uses his ultimate just to see where they are, and he spots them trying to fall back from B main, which is exactly why the lockdown is popped on A. Doxer used it a bit too prematurely, but hey, that's still fine. The defense on B is still stacked up enough for Aster Army.
Ooh, Doxer used a preemptive lockdown towards A, so now they know there's no one really approaching towards A. They know every single player's towards the B site. They're just waiting for them to fall down, and as soon as the knife finds 3 players, they're gonna start to fall back. Godsreen, a last minute rotation towards the A side maybe, or no, still just playing with the enemy minds. They don't exactly know what they want to pull off here. Coley pushed up a little too deep, gave his life away, and also the Odin away. Hunter's Fury utilized, and Dominic was able to find one through the market. And Vobor instantly able to trade things out. Still, they haven't really got the site control in the hand. Not a lot of time left away, and Godsreen, they start to win the duels.
Yeah, they start to win the duels in the last moment. Get the spike planted, and that's all they needed. It's a bit too chaotic for Godsreen Comfort, but they will be happy with the outcome regardless. Doctor out of the picture. It's all down to Wink. It seems impossible. This frag is only a consolation because this round is not gonna be his.
Oh, is he even going to be able to get away with this operator? The chances are quite high. The rest of the players are playing it quite safe and sound. Godsreen, they don't really want to overcommit and try to hunt down the last player because they know their economy is not looking too great. Even if they do lose out on one more gun, that means the upcoming round will be hindered a lot. So they just want to make these 3 guns safe. And on the other hand, Vink is going to be able to get away with this operator. Now, Vink will need to start taking his aggressive peek towards the mains.
What's going to happen once he starts doing that? Are going to be prepared for this one? So far, getting the opening pick hasn't really been the problem for Godsreen. The problem begins when Aster Army start throwing util in their way, and that holds Godsreen back. I mean, even after all those problems, Godsreen were able to somehow muster this round. But that was after a massive losing streak. They were leading at one point, and now they're trailing by 1 round.
With the amount of information both the coaches are giving away to the team, it's definitely quite interesting and quite intriguing too. You just want to be there and you listen to exactly what these guys are saying. So both these guys, man, they're quite phenomenal coaches. So definitely they've got some choice words and some key pointers to point it out for the teams. But so far with what it's been looking like roughly on top of the game is that Godsreen, I mean, we did see quite a lot of indecisive natures. But then later on at the last moment when they got scanned with the 0 point, they decided to fall back towards the A side. But as soon as Coley aggressed on forward and he got killed, instantly they decided to fall back once again to the B site and execute that. So indeed, quite a lot of interesting stuff and some indecisive nature kicking in from these from this team.
Yeah, and their biggest opponents on Aster, their biggest opponents is themselves and their inability to decide. That's usually what kills the momentum for Godsreen. So let's hope they don't fall into that decision paralysis. Just slow approach towards A this time. No attempts of faking towards B made. I mean, that is if you consider a 0 point an attempt to fake. I don't think that's enough. 1 0 point, 1 flash, and a paranoia, not enough to commit, or rather not enough to sell the fake. Then Doxter is just sidespotting it, I mean. Doesn't get to fight this one, but Tony's able to use the Hunter's Fury, hoping to tag some people. Only a little bit of damage done, but Autumn doesn't care about the damage. He wants to go for some carnage.
Yeah, but it was an instant trade, so it's completely fine for them. Godsreen, they will get the site control. They also get the spike plant down. Wink right here with the operator needs to go huge. Someone needs to have a heroic play in order to get this retake possible from Aster Army. They've got decent amount of utilities available. They've also got the players to do so. Flash is being utilized to try and find those initial picks, but the trades are always there on the board from them. Another player being shut down. Wink unfortunately drops down from the box, and the player peeks out from the front. That inaccuracy really not working out in his favor, and Coley is now the last man left alive. He's got a shock dart and a recon drone, but as soon as he moves away, as soon as he steps forward, Hoax capitalizes and deactivates him.
Solid round from Godsreen this time. Even though the B fake attempt did not really work out in their favor, the A hits have been phenomenal. That was also partially because Aster Army weren't actively defending it all that much. Doxer was just strafing and spotting them from heaven. They were hoping that Goali's ultimate will be able to get them something, you know? Goalie is also the kind of Sova who is very comfortable using his ultimate blind without the help of any of his recon darts or drones. Oh, but look at this. This time Aster Army picking up the pace. Paranoia thrown out from B main and the dash in from Wink gets them the control of this area, but they don't find anything. And in retaliation, NODWIN have taken A side for themselves.
The floor's lava and steps right into the lava as well. Godspeed, once again, they get the site control quite cleanly in the hand, and now the opponents are being forced on a retake. The scoreline is pretty even, but if Aster Army, they lose out on this round, they will be forced on an eco, so they really do desperately need this round in the hand. No, they will not be forced on an eco. They will still have a decent amount of money to buy for the upcoming round, so it's completely fine for Aster Army, even if they do lose this, but it's still quite a critical round in general, so they do need to win this no matter what. Wink does find the opening of the front, but Godspeed, they get two off their own, but Wink is still up and alive in the front lines like a Giga Chat, tanking all those bullets and shutting down the enemies in the front.
My ultimate is ready.
Jeez, that was such a chaotic flurry of trades. And now Wibor goes in for the wide swing of his own. He's been falling victim to that all match, but now in the moment of requirement, he steps up. And like always, he's got a poker face. Even when he can feel the victory within his grasp, he's not gonna let things go. Map point for God's Reign. Aster Army have just enough money to muster up a buy. Shields let go off in order to get the Odin in the hands of Goalie. And he will have to step up yet again. That one round where Goalie was able to get 4 kills with the Odin was incredible. And if he can channel through something like that once again, nothing like it. Oh. And I say that, he does it!
He was able to get away with kills all the time towards the B main, and Godspeed, they're just not learning their lesson. They're just not learning their lesson. They're falling prey to that trap over and over again. Hoax, even this man's being chipped away a little bit, but not too much. Recon drone's not going to spot out anyone. Every single player is just right outside the B main area. As they know, the recon drone's been able to scan through. No one was spotted in that recon drone. They probably think that there is a possibility or probability of an entire rotation, but that's not the case so far. Coley's still holding the close quarters with the Odin. Another recon dart to go through, and if this does get the scan, then problems will start to occur. Recon dart is still not being used. Coley quite adamant, quite patient on that, and as soon as he gets the scan through, is able to scan away, or is able to spam away so many bullets onto Hoax. Man's quite low, and finally Side Dreams is able to find that trade in the front lines, and Doxer will be able to trade things out for his team. It's a 3-on-4 scenario in the favor of Aster Army.
30 seconds left.
No counter ultimates available from Aster, but at least they have the numbers advantage. They need to push in right here and now. Only one flash is available on Hoax, and that's the only utility that God's Reign can fight with. Meanwhile, on Aster Army, they've got a myriad of utility. Kishi's got both his flashes. Dominic has the paranoia. They can carpet bomb this entire site with things that blind their opponents and push this game into overtime. Wink charges in. That's his cue. The second flash comes in, but it's okay. He's still going to be able to live through this one. Vapor stepping up with 2 of his own. This is incredible. Uses the smoke for temporary cover, but Dominic will still find him in the end. He has been a monster so far, but he's going to get shot through the wall. We are going to overtime.
Yeah, we're going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen, in the first map of this series. And it's quite a competitive map so far. The map of Ascent's been proven out to be such a chaotic map, especially in the late phase of the game. What exactly is going on? The action's being amped up out and over. These retakes are so quick. It's just quick burst on the side as soon as the floodgates are opened up. And now on this overtime, the nerves are going to be felt from both the sides. 12-12 being the score. We're here to find out which one of those teams is going to be able to seal the deal in that overtime and get those 2 rounds back-to-back secured.
At least the back-to-back part doesn't really have a negative effect on any of these teams, you know? Whenever they do win rounds, it's mostly been because they're chaining these rounds together. Only in the first half were they exchanging rounds back and forth, but in the second half, they've just been on streaks. The KJU will make it quite difficult for God's Reign to enter, but they're still able to get at least towards the mouth of defending spawn. Oh my god, are you serious? Aster wants to push through this one? Wink is already over there. I don't think anybody spotted him. Now the drone will, but it's too late. He's got the kills. Aster Army have the advantage. And they've gone for a very unorthodox push, which gets them such a massive surprise factor over God's Reign.
Yeah, they've got a huge advantage in their hands now, and it's a 2-on-4. Looking next to impossible Autumn with only 30 HP and an operator in the hand. That's why he wasn't really able to get the trade possible in the close range. But still, it's Autumn and takes those 2 imports against the lineup of Aster Army. 4-man strong squad. They've also got the null command popped up, and it will be expiring soon enough. And Tix, he finds 2. Managing to nullify that entire man's advantage, and now it's a 2-on-2. Tix goes heroic, but eventually he will be put to sleep on the deathbed. And Autumn, 30 HP left over, can't do anything. Aster Army, what a fiery round.
Sheesh, Aster Army really surprising their opponents like that. They did take quite a lot of damage through all the Killjoy utility that Godsrain had placed over there. Where, since he did not get suppressed, he can continue being a pawn on the side. But instead of just rushing into the side directly, which Godsrain would have expected, they had Wink go towards the defensive spawn. The drone could have almost spotted him, but before anyone had a chance to react, Wink decided to take that fight. He got them a massive advantage.
A tactical timeout from Godsrain because they lost out on the defense, and they definitely did have a lot of high hopes on the defending side. And now Aster Army too, they're having some talkings being done, considering this defense matters quite a lot for them too. And Aster Army, now that they've won the attacking side, which was supposed to be the difficult part, they will try to focus on the defense. Let's see how much of a defending side they've got things secured. One thing is for sure, probably we're going to be seeing Coley on that Odin. But if you've noticed, Godsrain on that B side of the Ascent, they're always trying to fall back, show their presence, then come back to the B main again, fall back once again, and then try and execute the B main. So this is like a pattern whenever they want to hit the B main area, and hopefully it's being recognized by Aster Army.
All we need to do is just hold on. Godsrain have shown plenty of gaps in their attacking before. Aster Army can definitely exploit those. They've left Dominic towards Vine, Reed. There's no utility with it to check him out. Paranoia is perfect, but Kishi's still able to get that frag. That's criminal.
Yeah. That was a massive frag too. It's going to give them such a huge advantage. A good Paranoia, not going to be able to escape his death, but he still manages to escape it somehow. That was way too close for comfort. Could have died in that scenario. But Vobor gets the trade happen, and Coley instantly is there to shut the man down. That tree area, they really want to get it back in their hands, but Hoax, he starts lining the bodies on top of each other, and Aster Army, they're only left with 2 players left over. A 0 points in the hands of Kishi. If he does want to go, and he can utilize that one just to gather any sort of solid information. But Godsrain, they're just holding all the way in the back lines, waiting for those flanks. But that's not going to be the case. Aster Army too, they're playing it quite disciplined, but I don't like the fact that they're separated.
Is Godsrain going to pull off something that Velocity does? Godsrain fake falling back, and now they're heading back towards A.
Similar pattern.
Yeah, very similar pattern, right? You cut noise, pretend to retreat, but then you actually don't retreat. I kind of feel a little nervous about Kishi, though. He's playing in a one-and-done spot. If they don't check him out right, then he can be a big problem for them later on. He tries to play on the timing, catches Hoax, and he gets all of them! He was just waiting for the spike tap, and he plays it perfectly.
Aster Army, they get the first match secured against Godsrain. Indeed, a huge, shocking moment for Godsrain players and also the fans. Aster Army, one of those teams that we thought is an underdog. At the start, their journey in the group stage was so shaky, but in the playoffs, this team is now starting to shine through like a bright diamond.
A diamond in the sky that shines upon everybody, just showering them with warm light. It does warm your heart to look at all these underdog stories. And Aster Army so far have been the biggest underdogs, apart from maybe True Rippers. And the fact that they can take down such Goliaths and look good while doing so, it just makes me so happy.
And that too on the map of Ascent, where Godsrain, they think that they're probably decent on that map. So it's quite interesting, right? Godsrain lost out on Ascent, and that's what happened yesterday too. So there's a lot of indications here, ladies and gentlemen. But with that being said, we're going to push to a short break, and we'll be right back.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the wings, I get it in. I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny.
Audience, welcome back once again after that short break. Hopefully you guys are feeling pretty good too, because we are. We've got a new man on the board, Shubhank, and he's going to be joining me on the casting desk. Shubhank, taking a look at this Agent Select, we're not really seeing anything out of the blue.
Definitely the Metacom, the Breeze Sova with the Killjoy and the main smoker Omen will be there, and they have played the similar roles as well. But if we talk about Ash Army, they have been switching roles quite often. Sometimes we see Wink on the Jet, and sometimes Kishi is on Breach and Kohli is on Sova. They switched up in the last few matches, and that switch has been working well, where we see Kishi going for that Breach role, and let's see how will that work out today, because right now one mistake can move them to the map of Pearl, and that map is definitely very, very annoying to play, and none of the teams from the sides of Ash Army want to play that map. But let's see how things go on Haven, because Haven, as I've already said, has been God's Reign favorite map, and Ash Army definitely knows, and as you said, they should have prepped well against them.
Exactly. The preparations are probably going to be there. And finally, we move on forward, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be kicking things off on the pistol round, where God's Reign will start off on the defending side and Aster Army on the attack. Guns on the board. Let's see how things are going to be looking like. I mean, so far, we're not really seeing anything indicating over here. Just some default starting. But Autumn's able to find 2 quick taps on the opponents. Great way to start things off. And this should give a huge momentum boost now for the side of God's Reign.
Definitely, and the garage control is completely open, and the way the God's Reign play on Haven is quite generic. They always leave the strong side of A, and KJ setup generally somewhere around C side. So this is what Aster Army is trying to exploit, but the 2 initial frags from Autumn has been really been crucial, and those 2 advantages we know how massive they are going to be, because now the numbers are completely in their favor and KJ utilities are still there. Vibhor is still holding C side. They're nowhere going back, but if we steal the spike, it is still in B window. They're trying to pick up some frags and rotate back to, and definitely Kishi will get 2 frags. Vibhor definitely trade. Dominic out. Can he get one more? He definitely gets one more, and these 2 frags again are pulling out massive. The 1v2 for Kishi right now, who's low in HP and had the spike as well. Will he move back to it? But definitely it is going to be very, very tricky from him, because a pistol round is definitely not easy to clutch.
Kishi with only 52 HP needs to find 2 quick taps on the
30
opponent's
seconds left.
heads.
One enemy
Turret in the
remaining.
heads. We'll find that. As I said, 2 quick taps are needed, and he finds those. Got a 4K. There's a high chance might just get the ace established too. Basai peeks out of the nick of time and shuts down the opponent. Perfectly done, Godsreen. Way to kick things off in the map of Haven. We've also got some True Rippers members sitting right over there in the audience. Interesting to see that. But now we're going to be seeing Godsreen, of course, on the better weaponry. On the other hand, the opponents might just go for an eco. But in the previous map, we've seen them go for those force buys. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is going to be any sort of force buy. But still a solid way to start things off from both the teams. Kishi's definitely feeling himself, and that sort of a 4K should even give him more confidence boost.
Definitely, I could have been an ace round the first round, but now again the window is being contested, and I think this is going to be a pro default. They are trying to get some picks initially, but the way Autumn has set up his Martian, definitely any window swing will be punished. But right now Kishi is moving, trying to get some A-long control, but we have Sai there and no issues as of now, because definitely they have the stronger weaponry, so it should be easier to hold. But we never know when it's Sheriff time. Most of the teams are able to convert those thrifties.
Converting this one's going to be next to impossible, though. You've got 4 classic and only 1 sheriff, so no way. Over here, they're probably just going to try to deal as much as damage as possible on the opponents, try and take some guns away. Usually, the way I look at thrifty rounds is to just put a little bit of dent on the opponent's economy. Yeah, if you are able to win the round as well, then it's just going to be a little bit of bonus on top. But as you said, those thrifties are being converted, but usually in the second round, it's quite rare. In the middle of the rounds where teams are running out of eco, then there's a high chance that thrifty will be converted, but in the second round, it's next to impossible. Kishi with the sheriff in the hand is trying to stroll on the site. Will move up quite close. Doesn't check for the man in the close contentions, and will take him down. Flawless round once again from the side of Godsreen as expected.
A very clean round. And again, I kind of thought maybe a 30 could be possible, but as you said, they have only had just 1 sheriff, and definitely they were punished. But now this is one of the crucial rounds, because if Aster Army loses this round, this is not going to be great from them. And as we know, God's Reign might try to aggress this round. They love to play some aggressive defensive sides, and I guess they have stacking something, maybe a long push to set up Marshall in the deep cubby, and I think this could be a play. But if we see Aster Army, they are trying to get C long very, very fast.
Let's see. I'm in 4 now. We're seeing a little bit of fiery moves being made from the side of Aster Army. The Jets managed to dash all the way in. Tix is being chipped up quite low. The shorty on the face. Wall nailed the coffin. And now Aster Army, they've got those 2 quick kills on the site. Side Dreams in the back lines wasn't really able to get anything done. He's still just got 1 kill in the hand. So the trade did happen back and forth, but in the favor of Aster Army. It's a 1-on-3 scenario. Only a Marshall in the hands of Autumn. It's going to be quite a pressure point situation for Godsreen now.
Definitely, and I think this was a kind of preparation thought, because most of the time the A-long was contested, but a fast C take caught them unexpected, and definitely this is going to be a clean round until a clean tap comes around, and I don't think Autumn expecting that, but a great shot on Gully, and definitely 1 more weapon down, and this is definitely going to hurt Aster's Army economy a lot more, because you don't want to lose so much weapons when the opponent team is on Spectres and Marshalls, but they already just are saving 2 Vandals at most. But let's see if Autumn is able to get 1 more or not. I think he's going for the save. Yes, he will go for the save, and the next round is definitely going to be fair by Aster Army opening their account, and I think this is going to be a fair and clear round. But okay, so he decided not to save. Maybe he will try to go for an operator in the 4th round now.
Yep, that's what he's going to do. We'll pull out the operator and do something on the board. Yep. He's got a decent amount of money, and that's what the game plan was for him, too. He didn't really invest a lot in the 2nd round initially. In the 3rd round as well, we didn't really see a lot of investment. So it makes sense. Operator being pulled out. So far, on the other hand, Aster Army, they have shown their presence even towards the C site. And considering there are 2 Phantoms on the board in the hands of Godsreen, in the hands of Side Dreams and Vapor, and opponents. They're only playing on light shields. Those Phantoms should do some light work on the enemy. Godsreen out in position quite aggressively, and this time quite deep towards man. He does find one. That's quite a good frag to kick things off with. Wink once again in the close quarters of Shard, looking to dash away inside the site. Good fault line to try and dash this man. At least the pressure for now is being nullified. It's been put on a little bit of halt, but Autumn still holding those aggressive angles. The recon drone used finds a tag on the player to falling away. Autumn holding that angle, clotheslines. But Aster Army, they're just waiting it out outside, man. Just letting the silence speak for itself.
Definitely, and if we see the way Gods are set up, they don't care about Garage and B. They have Killjoy's utilities perfectly set up, and they know a B lurk has been made, and the Garage is still in control, so they can still stronghold the A side. 3 players still stacking on A, waiting for the lurkers to come in, and just 2 players waiting outside the Garage because someone can be there. But Autumn with another frag, and I think this could be very tricky situation for him. He's alone on the side with a shot in his hand. Can he get one more? And definitely he will get one more. Gets traded out by Kohli, but he is now alone in a 1v3 scenario. Very difficult to clutch, and definitely will be taken down. And a very clean round for Godsreen coming up.
Godsreen able to get their hands back on the site. Nicely done. Taking a look at this replay, you can see, I mean, these early picks that Autumn was really able to find, and then even on the side, he was able to get away with the second one too. The shorty in the close range, of course, is going to be quite murderous, and that's what he exactly does. That 3K right there, single-handedly flipped things in this favor of Godsreen, and they also managed to retrieve the operator in the hand, so that means we're going to see Autumn back on that op once again. On C, we've got the KJ setup this time. The turret is going to be placed on the C side instead. On B, we're going to be seeing Autumn opping it out. So this is a little switch up in the KJ setup.
And they're trying to take garage control, and this garage control will be definitely a stronghold. 3 players already on around C side, and definitely Autumn will try to get one on B, and I think he get the garage window shot, but will get taken down by Kishi. But this fast execute definitely just traded out. Autumn, the off will be definitely set, but this round could have been much more valued if they got one more frag. But again, Kishi is in a bad spot and definitely missed some shot. Traded out for one more, and the way the Godsreen are reading Aster Army's attack is definitely tremendous, because the way they are setting up and Aster has the attack, and this shot from Dominic, this could have been one more frag, but definitely size movement definitely saves in the day. But the thing I was talking about, the reads from Godsreen have been on point throughout the game. They know when they are taking C and when they are attacking on A side. The setups have been perfect on point, and definitely it kind of shows why Haven is one of their favorite maps.
Setups, definitely the fluidity is something that I would say it's really catching Aster Army off guard. They're not able to realize where exactly the players are going to be positioned at what spot. They're keeping the setups changing, and that fluidity is just catching Aster Army off guard. There's nothing really much that can be said over here. For example, the operator last time was playing on the B site, and now you can see the operator now is playing on the C site. So you can see the jet now is all the way towards C, looking all the way down towards the C long. That switch up in the operator placement is really starting to second guess Aster Army, because they do not want to face that op over and over again. There's a high chance if they do peek out towards the op, of course it's going to be an early man advantage for the enemy team, so they do not want to let that go away. On the other hand, we're seeing that pretty much default cage is set up back once again. Tix managed to get a good paranoia set up, but was not able to teleport in the cubby, and instantly Dominic will get 2 of his own. Rolling Thunder being utilized as well, but Side Dreams is not going to be pretty much affected by that. He gets the man taken down in the short area, and Dominic pops off huge. He gets a 3K for himself, and also a last second teleport to get the spike in his hands. And all the players, they decided to rotate back. Autumn, good play, storm popped. Dominic towards the C site, will get taken down. And what's going on here? They managed to cut off the entire rotation, and Godsreen, they're probably going to get this round in hand too. No way Wink is going to be able to get back in time to the C site.
A free round for Godsreen. Like, the teleport was a great util, but I would say the spike down came a bit too early. Before his team rotated, the spike was down and he was alone, the lone defender on the side, and definitely Vibho took advantage of that situation pretty clearly, and that advantage definitely lose them the round. It was a great start after they lost to the paranoia, but again, the mid-round adjustment from Godsreen are definitely showing up, and they are now 5-1 up, and I think Aster Army needs to think something that can make them win some more rounds.
I would say this was just a huge blunder from Aster Army. there was no need for them to just teleport away to the C site with the spike. I mean, they should have known the fact that they've already wasted so much time in clearing out the A site that there's a high probability that even the flanks are going to now start to capitalize upon them. But instead, he went for the last second TP towards the C side, and it caught themselves off guard. So it was, they thought that it might just be a smart play, but instead they outplayed themselves. So indeed, quite a lot of questions being raised in that play, and that's what we're seeing this tactical timeout being pulled out as well. Vandalik is definitely giving a lot of talks to his teammates. He's making a lot of crucial points.
Definitely, and they need this timeout talk right now, because the way they are playing, definitely they get initial frags, they get onto the side, but again they are not able to convert those rounds, and you need to convert these rounds, especially in the attack side, because we know Haven is a very much attacker sided map, and in defense it is very difficult to hold. And if Godsend can pull out 3 more rounds, 8-4 scoreline will definitely be favored towards Godsend. So they somehow need to get the next at least 3 to 4 rounds for Aster Army. If they can get that, I think the match can get close. And again, the C setup is again the perfect reason Godsend, because Aster Army is attacking on C again, and the blind ult from Doxer might get one tag definitely, but I think this could have been a frag. And again, the stronghold C side is punishing Aster Army again and again.
Oh, Aster Army. Wink was the man who was being found early off. Kishi's still got his hands on the lockdown. He hasn't really went for the initiation just yet. Doxer holding on to that recon. Not doing anything, just peeking out for info. Finally going to use the recon to try to find some information, and he does. It's Autumn falling back. He's got the paranoid ready in the hand, but he still hasn't utilized it just yet. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for every single one of his teammates to just stack outside and make some waves on the other side of the map. And that's when, as they do start to do so, that's when probably we're going to be seeing the floodgates being open, and probably they will try to make something happen. Lockdown is initiated finally, and it's towards the C side. There's still a little bit of cubby that's being left and checked by the lockdown, and that's where there's going to be one defender just creeping and crawling his way towards. Kishi's going to move all the way from the back line. It's a good fault line to pretty much try and nullify Kishi there, but it was a little too late. One of the players already lost out as a lifeline, and Dominic connects some incredible shots. 2 kills back to back, and now both the players, the remaining players of Gazreen, will be forced on and save.
On target.
Definitely a hand this save. I think they are still trying to get some frags right now. They're trying to get some exits, or maybe they're trying to get the round, because the way Autumn is approaching the garage side, I think he might get one shorty frag, but no, Dominic gets the third, and Dominic masterclass definitely helping Aster Army get this round. And the way they have set up the garage to ult, definitely they are trying more round, but the way the spike is planted, this is not going to be easy to defend. I think Sai definitely got a strong chance, but the forward line will definitely knock him down, and this is finally the round Aster Army needed the most, because they have been shut down and the conversion rate has not been that great so far, but finally they get this second on board.
Interesting stuff. Look at Dominic.
On target.
Those back-to-back picks, man. Dominic has always been such a huge playmaker for the side of Aster Army. Their plays most of the times are revolving around Dominic. And he's always been that consistent player you can rely on to get those kills and have that team's back. He's a huge support line for the team. On the other hand, Godsreen, they've got their 2 ultimates in the hand. They've also got a Farm the Shadows and a Rolling Thunder available, which can help them in the retakes, of course, and from the shadows to try and make some quick moves on the map. Operator still in the hands of Autumn, so they definitely need to watch out from that op. Make sure they're not really giving away those free picks away, and this time Autumn's playing towards the A site.
They're trying default again, and if we see the Godsend buy is not perfect, they are on light shields, and if you talk about Sai, he's just on a sheriff and a light shield, so the buy is not perfect from sides of Godsend, and this round could be crucial one, because the way Aster Army is approaching, they're just single alarm bot to play for Godsend right now, and Vibo is trying to play on that, but the way Autumn is deployed in a shot, he should have taken the shot, and I think he missed it. Definitely will reposition, but Vibo takes down Kishi, a threat down, and I think this initial frag, they know that this is going to be again a garage to C hit, and they are trying to switch up places, but now they are going towards B, and the B fast executes just a killjoy turret to slow them down, but nothing much. A retake should be possible, a 45 retake should be an easy one, but before Sheffield Huge takes another one with him, a breach ult to just finish. I think another round will be to one side, but miss some shots, but not too worried. 5v2 and should not be a big task from God's Reign.
So 4 on one situation, and Dominic not going to be able to do much. Not able to establish too much over here. And Godsreen,
Oh, no.
they get the round in the head. Nicely done. Clean ways to get the retake possible, and it happened. This is Godsreen viewing party. These guys are definitely having the time of their lives. They're chilling, man. They're having a good time in general. But these moves, that Rolling Thunder was being used, but unfortunately, I mean, Aster Army, they just crumbled down so well. And Godsreen exactly the retake they really wanted. Now they know that B side is not that easy to take. Even if you do, it's not that easy to sustain.
I think the retake setup on B is quite interesting from them. They know that B can be easily attacked with the double smokes, and they take the side. The retake has been phenomenal right now from Gordon, and again an operator shot mid, and Autumn is trying to get some early frags but not able to get them. This is kind of a half buy round from Team Aster Army, which is definitely going to be difficult for them. Again, they are attacking B, will take the spike down, and they try to hold the post plants up. And the way the Godsreen, they know that the spike down would not be a situation. A 5-5 retake should be easy with the superior weaponry. Definitely, we post takes wink out, and I think this should be the killjoys. And definitely, this lockdown will force out some more frags.
Cover going out.
Dominic going for the teleport from the shadows used to try and get away from that part, but no, in fact, he gets detained. He thought he's going to move out of the detention area, but unfortunately, he was not able to cancel it in time, and he gets detained. And now, Godsreen, once again, they get their hands cleanly on the site. Perfectly done. And a round win once again secured. You can see the people of Orangutan just sitting in the back. They're just waiting for OG to show up. It is going to be the second matchup of the day. Today, we're going to be seeing two matchups happen back-to-back, but at least inside this first matchup, things have been quite interesting.
This is going to be one of the upper bracket finals, definitely one of the best matches in the circuit. But right now, the way Aster Army is going towards the attacking side, again, the conversion rate has not been there. They got one round, and again, this was a half by round, so we kind of expect them to just damage some economy. But again, the B side hold from Godsreen is great. Like, they know when they have to retake, and Autumn again with that updraft spec gets winged out, and the similar playstyle from Godsreen is giving them advantages early on. And I think Aster Army is not able to predict where this can setup could be, and again they're falling to the traps the Godsreen are setting up for them.
Peeks out through the smoke, gets the kill, falls back instantly. Autumn still able to be such a huge menace with that operator. Kishi holding the quarters with his gun is now going to start to fall back towards the link. Gets spotted by the turret. We'll need to fall back and respect that setup. On the other hand, we're seeing Coley still towards the side of A, and his teammates, they probably do want to make some moves happen over there. Wink, unfortunately, was the lost cause in that previous time when they tried to take the aim in control. A good parano to try and flush out the backside, but unfortunately for them, Autumn's not going to be that easy to try and flush out. Doxer does find first man on the A side through the smoke, and Kishi, and now he's going to go for the wraparound. But does he know there's two players waiting for him? And yes, they check it.
30 seconds
Kishi
left.
being taken down from the game. They sort of had a little bit of notice that there might just be someone over there holding the back lines, and they checked that perfectly.
The lurk play they are trying to get Kishi into is not able to work out. Now they are moving towards the A side, and this can be a good one from Kohli's side, because we know he's able to convert those 1v2s, but will he expect a close operator? Definitely he will take down one, but definitely get instantly traded. And I think if that trade wouldn't happen, this could have been around 40 Aster Army, because the way they are set up, it was really nice. The mid round was good, and again, the lurk they are trying to pull out on the B side is not working out as of now.
Don't deserve my emotions.
Godsreen, good stuff. They're able to win away with the channel rounds. On the other hand, Aster Army not able to find that sweet spot for themselves. This map of Haven is now really proven out to be a huge nightmare, especially that operator in the hands of Autumn needs to be taken care of no matter what. That operator so far is just ringing up the players of Aster Army. 8-2 is going to be the score so far. If Aster Army is able to make it 8-4, then there's still going to be a little bit of glimmer of hope. But if this half is taken down to 10-2, then the third map is going to be inevitable.
Definitely. And again, if we talk about this round, the operator is in garage. The A is completely left open for retake with just Breeze standing there. And we know this is kind of reason that they are pulling it again and again, because they kind of know they have been shutting Aster Army on A again and after round. So they are not going to hit that. And Wink tries to dash in into Vibor, gets picked, and again 3k for Vibor. It's getting quite easy from Godwin at this point because they are just able to predict what are the next moves as Shami, and they are kind of one step ahead every round, and they are able to create all those advantages again and again. And it is a complete easy round. Vibor with that 3k in the garage, predicted where they are going to be, and operator setup on the garage window definitely worked great for them.
Last round, man. 9-2 is the score. As I said, if it's going to be a 10-2 scoreline, then problems will start occurring once again. And when it's 10-2, it's all going to come down to that pistol round. Or even if it's 9-3 in general, if it's all going to come down to that pistol round. If you're not able to pin that pistol, then you might as well just count yourself out right then and there. So, at least for now, it's 9-2. Let's see how this third round goes. Or let's see how this round goes.
Will we see a 9-3 curse? Could it be a 9-3 curse? And the operator is on C along this round, and the A is the stronghold position. B is completely left open. No turret, no alarm bot. And if they try to set up Kishi again for the lurk play, this might work out this round, but I think they are not going for anything separated. They are all stacking towards A. Might try to get in a blind ult to get some damage, and Sai will take down Kishi with that ult, and everything for God's Rain is working out like a charm. Every ult, every position they are trying to play in, and it is working perfectly for them.
Ooh. A lot of utilities left over on both the sides. Dominic, he's still got those 2 smokes available. He hasn't even used any of those so far, and he's managed to find himself a good way. And he doesn't even break it, and doesn't even get it. But unfortunately gets checked by Report this time. They knew exactly that there is a place left open. Did manage to take out the lurker, and now because of the aftershock, even the man from the cubby will be forced out of that spot. Godsreen, they're really starting to clean out the players of Aster Army one after the other. They're just crumbling apart. It's a domino effect. Last man named Doxer, he does manage to find 2. They lined up for him. He does have a Hunter's Fury available too, but the man on the flank will shut him down. It's a 10-2 half, ladies and gentlemen, and now it seems like the third map is going to be inevitable. Haven so far, the players of Godsreen are able to get a nice lead secure in their hand on the defending side, so you can already imagine what's going to happen on the attack.
Definitely, and a 10-2 half shows the dominance Godbrains created in this map, and the way they are playing definitely looks really phenomenal. Ascent was not their favorite map, but the map pick on both teams have been phenomenal, and Godbrains showing why they always pick up Haven when it's their time. This is going to be a great watch when we come back from a short break.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit most of these, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit most of these, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, after that short break, as we are probably going to be heading inside the second half soon enough. It's all going to come down to this crucial pistol round. Now, the roles have been switched as Aster Army are going to move on forward towards the defending side and God's Rain on the attack. As I said, this pistol is pretty much going to be the lifeline for Aster Army, so they desperately need to win this no matter what.
And again, the way the round is going to start is very, very crucial, because the way Aster Army set up, they are trying to get some fast B executes. They want to rush out from B. Definitely, we have Sova, Breach, all in the queue, and they try to set up wing. He could not get one, will be forced back. And the way Gordon is approaching, they are trying to fast re-hit on the B side. If the stronghold, they will not come in smoked off, but they have, I would say, done enough damage to push the early aggression from Aster Army to back. And now again, they will start with the default, and I think they would turn around to somewhat be execute, because I think the fake rotations has been one of the attacking plays that get Aster Army, or I would say Gordon, likes to pull off.
Dash is primed from Autumn, so that means over here inside this play, the sacrificial lamb is probably going to be Autumn too, because he doesn't even have a lot of HP to try and sustain his presence on the side, even if he does decide to dash over. Or I guess no, they're going to start to fall back slowly and steadily. They're going to retreat back. Interesting decision. They're now going to try to reroute themselves towards the C site, but they don't exactly know that Dominic is positioned in the cubby quite aggressively. Still waiting for them to try and pop out. And look at Dominic. He's going to try to push up against them. Meets 4 players in the front. That's a huge surprise. And now Aster Army, as they start to peek out. Unfortunately, that was a little team flash, and Doxer got team flashed by his own teammate. Godsreen, on the other hand, they get 2 for themselves, but it seems like so far things are looking way too close to comfort. It's a 2-on-1 scenario. It felt like Aster Army should have things under control, but somehow it started to slip away, and Doxer, he gets a 4K.
A perfect clutch to win the pistol round. Similar story happened when the match started. A 4K for Kishi won them the round, and again now 4K from Doxer won them their second pistol, and the pistol round have definitely come up their way, and they have to convert the very next round as well. They can't afford to lose this round because this is going to be a very crucial round if Aster Army wants to come back in this game.
I mean, we've also seen some 10-2 curses in the past, right? So I guess it is definitely possible. That was quite an interesting clutch. And
Scanning ahead.
recon dart being used to try and scan over. That's a basic recon dart utilization. We are seeing a little bit of force being pulled out from the side of Godsreen. And this time they were also able to get their hands on the trade. Doxer's got the hands on the Vandal. But he is going to play a little pushed back. It is a long range weapon. So you will try to take those duels against those Spectres and those Bulldogs with as much as distance as possible. Godsreen, on the other hand, still taking things quite slow and cautious.
Definitely, and this round is going to be very, very difficult for Godsreen now because they have lost their only control in this map. With Ticks down, they have no smokes to control the sides, and all they have is a fast rush with a flash and a fault line. But will they able to do it? Because without smokes, taking A is very, very difficult. They might try to go C, and which is again a solo guy, Dominic, trying to hold C side. And again, I think he will peek into 4 people just like last round. Will be able to take one with him. This is going to be a good question, but definitely he will take one down, and it is going to be enough for the rotations to pull out. When we know Kishi has already rotated, and this Kishi should be unchecked because the way he is positioned should be able to get 2 at least, and definitely will take one down, size down, and with that I think this round should be able to fall in Aster Army's favor.
And that's what exactly happens. Kishi goes huge in this eco round, and now they will be forced to, or at least being put on a bonus. They lost out on a decent amount of weapons too because the opponents went for a force, and now Godsreen, they're going to be completely less than that money. So they will probably need to just go for those Sheriff buy and try to be happy with that. But yeah, that smoke, that controller player being found in the first place was a huge blunder for them because they didn't have any sort of visual denying utilities other than the flashes. So yeah, that was a huge problem for them in general. Godsreen now. Once again, position outside main, playing things really safe and sound and slow, respecting the boundaries of the opponents. While Rapport is lurking around towards the garage area where the Sheriff in the hand was trying to find some clicks, but is not going to be able to. Godsreen still trying to keep that aggressive page up. Wink, able to shut down the man in the clotheslines. All the rest of the players are towards the long area. Doxer manages to find a quick tap on the first man who was trying to approach him, and now also utilizes a recon drone. Attacks there, but Godsreen, they're unfortunately not able to convert those peaks into kills.
And again, Doxer coming out huge, will be again able to take the 4K yet again, and Doxer's positioning has been really, really good in this round, and a flawless round will boost their economy a lot more, and Aster Army secured all the crucial rounds they were needed in the second half, and this might spark a comeback for Team Aster Army, and if they'll be able to do it, this is going to be one hell of a ride because a comeback from 10-2 is definitely a great match to witness, and we'll see a timeout from Godsend because they know the way they should have started the second half is not going their way.
Tactical timeout, and Godspeed is definitely giving out quite a lot of calls now because Godsreen, they realize they've lost out a series of rounds. And this is where there's a high chance even the comeback might just be mounted. It's 10-5. It's definitely doable. Only 5 more rounds to nullify all the lead that Godsreen were able to build. And on the defending side, both these teams are able to play quite well. Aster Army, as I said, their main forte, or the way they really look good, is their quick rotations. And even inside this map, we're seeing those quick rotation happen. They're not really falling for those quick baits. they're sort of able to capitalize on exactly what the opponents are trying to bring to the table as well. Hopefully, they're not going to be caught off guard with those aggressive plays.
Definitely, the way Assam is playing the defense is, again, we don't see Assam pushing up towards the attacking spawn. We have seen again and again Dominic taking the C long, or we can say Wing taking the A long control round after round. And again, the way they are setting up this round is a defensive one. So I guess somewhat down the line, Godswin were expecting another push from the sides of Ashrami, but this time this is going to be a passive hold with a turret and a Lombard on B and Garage, and they are stacking up towards the middle of the map with just one player each on the extremities, and a C hit is going to come in, but they are not going to get inside the Garage. As of now, they have taken enough damage on Autumn, who is down to just 60 HP, and any entry from him is just going to be a bait for himself so that his teammates can trade him out, because on this HP it is going to be very, very difficult for him to convert a pick after he gets into the side. But again, they are trying to get into A to just single defender Wing without an operator, so I think they are trying to just retake A and just trying to hold more of C and Garage side.
I mean, they've got two players positioned towards the A side, where you saw the SOA playing on the A to B link. So yeah, two players more than enough. They've got a default setup. They're playing B for retake. Makes a lot of sense. Vapor, on the other hand, instead, he's holding on to his nanostorm. He hasn't really deployed it exactly on the site yet. He's holding on to it in his hand, or Kishi is holding on to it in his hands. So let's see how things are going to be looking like. They start to fall outside Garage, and this might just be a huge surprise in the back lines too, because they're probably not going to expect him in the back. He peeks out, gets two. Monstrous play. Aster Army, well calibrated and well cooperated. And Godsreen, one last man left to life. Side Dreams with only 15 HP left over in his hands. Doesn't even have a lot of HP to support him. Not a lot of time left over either. And this is where the band from the back lines will start to capitalize too. Moving up forward, Wink will clean things up.
And this round lost means they are forced on another eco towards the next round. And again, an eco round we kind of expect. This has to be now a 7th round for Team Aster Army, and the comeback is kind of looking favorable right now, because again, Haven should be attack side map. That attacking game should have advantage. They have 3 sides to attack, but the way this map is going on, defenders are able to hold each and every side perfectly. The raids have been there, and again, God's Reign, they are trying to get into the site, but they have been suppressed with a smoke push from the garage window. Just caught them off guard, and again, they are trying to get a fast A hit, but let's see if they were able to get with some, I would say, Sheriffs and Spectres this round.
Ooh! The Blade Storm this time, a bird in the sky, will clip off the enemy's head. Skull's gonna crack open, slicing and dicing your enemies, and Side Dreams from the back lines able to shut Wink down. Nicely done on this defense. Now this is where things will start to get even more tougher for Aster Army. The operator strikes once again. Last 2 players alive, and Aster Army will now probably need to respect the presence of Godsreen so far. There's a turret planted up towards mid. Vapor knows there's some players mentioned over there, and he's now going to start to play pretty precisely. Look at this big brand move from Vapor. No one expected this man to wrap around all the way towards that garden area. Managed to find one, and then Kishi was able to at least get that trade back in his hands outside Garage. And now look at Kishi. He's getting overwhelmed.
A thrifty round coming for Gods, and this was the most needed round, because again, it was an eco round. If they lost it, wouldn't have hurt them much, but winning a thrifty gives a massive confidence. It's all start with this Autumn's Blade Storm, and this was like one of the perfect shots he could hit in the entire game to turn the course of this match, and that one flick gave the entire team the complete confidence. And the way Side just late entered A shot, caught Wig off guard and took down the operator, and from there it was just downfall for Team Aster Army. But now this round is again going to be really crucial, because if Godsend win this round, they are onto the match point.
Still waiting for the recon. Good way to shut it down without even getting any sort of information in their hands. Aster Army, they're ready for this take. There's a paranoia in the hands of Dominic. I'm a little scared of this entire push. A little skeptical. Godsreen, on the other hand, they've managed to stack themselves up outside A. Finally, as soon as the alarm bot gets triggered, they know there are players positioned quite in close quarters. Autumn was able to find out the first peak, but Godsreen, they still somehow win those duels through the smoke, finding the right sweet spots. And Aster Army already losing out on two of their key players' heads. And now it's a 3-on-5 retake scenario. Aster Army cannot try to play for resistance at all because they just don't really have the firepower.
Definitely, they are still trying to get towards C. They got 2 frags on A. Now going towards C again. This C hit should not be able. They will be able to convert this round whatsoever right now, until and unless someone picks up a big clutch out, because right now Wink is still on A and Kohli is the man who's starting things off because he has an ult and should be able to hit that, but kind of confused, should have ulted or maybe not got in 2 mines. And if you got in 2 mines in this scenario, you will be definitely be punished. And with Kohli's out, the only ultimate which could have helped Aster Army take the side is gone. And with that, Toxer is again in a 1v4, takes down one in a 1v3 scenario, but again Hawks is there to trade him out, and Godsend is on to the match point now.
Match point for Godsend. As I said, the third map was looking quite inevitable, but in the second half, Aster Army started to have this series of round in their hands. But finally, now considering Godsend, they're going to be on the match point, or at least on the map point. They're going to be looking quite happy. At least the confidence should be back. The fire should be ignited back in their hands. The Rolling Thunder wasn't really being used at that moment. A tactical timeout being pulled out from Aster Army because they know there's a lot of stuff that's going through their minds. They definitely do need a huge relief with this tactical timeout too. They need some side threats. It's 12-6, man. To make this comeback happen, they'll need to win 6 rounds back to back. That sounds next to impossible and quite miraculous.
Definitely, and the earlier Godsend timeout definitely worked out for them. Will this same happen to Aster Army? Will they able to convert back-to-back 6 rounds? Are definitely a very, very tedious job to do. And again, if you talk about the last round, the way Aster Army played that round was definitely good enough. If that, I would say, Kohli was stuck in 2 mines. If it hadn't been the case, if he just on the gun out, could have taken one more guy with him, and then the Rolling Thunder would helped Aster Army. But again, these are all ifs and buts, and that doesn't always go the right way. And again, Aster Army just changing the setup. They are setting Kishi towards A side, setting up completely, and I think they're expecting an A hit, and the other players are stacked towards the garage. B is completely set on retake.
Oh, early fault line's gonna manage to at least stun out 2 of those players in the front, but still Autumn pushes up quite deep towards garage with only a shorty in the hands. But look at Wink, he's waiting for him to come aggressive, and Autumn's not gonna do that. He's not gonna overstep his boundaries, and Wink on the other hand, he's gonna still go for that aggressive peek. What a shot! Side dreams put on his deathbed and put to sleep. The skull's cracked open, slicing and dicing away through his opponents. And they've also got the man advantage now back in their hands. Aster Army perfectly done exactly what they needed to do. They showed some heavy presence towards garage right off the bat with that early fault line, and made the players of Godsend really start to second guess their decisions. Perfectly done, but keep this thing in mind. There's a lockdown available in the hands of a board, and he's probably not going to initiate it instantly. All they want to do is just get the plant down, and probably Tix will instantly try to teleport away. But a perfectly timed lockdown, even from the side of Godsend, to try and force the defenders back to their spots. Dominic wins that duel against Mubor. The man who was taking care of flank is now being shut down, but Godsend, they get their hands on the site.
And they have Rolling Thunder available as well, and they will get the Rolling Thunder in, and the Rolling Thunder exchange. Will Wink able to get one? No, he gets traded out, and Dominic is in a good spot right now, but Autumn will check it out, and again on a Blaze Storm, a 1v2 snipe for Kohli. We know he can pull it off, in a good position, and will take down one Tix. 1v1, Win will be able to do it, but no, Autumn comes out superior, and Godsend will definitely close out this map.
Autumn with a 4K to close things off in the last round, ladies and gentlemen. Godsend, they secure another victory on the map of Haven. It has been their dominating map, and once again, they prove out to be so dominating on the map of Haven. But Sai, he's got some stuff to say over here, man. I really want to know what he's really talking to Tix over there, because definitely it has to be something quite choiceful. But you can see, man, the happiness on the face of Godsend. After losing out on the first map, they had quite a lot of questions, but now they're looking quite happy after winning that Haven in such a dominating fashion. Hopefully we're going to be seeing that momentum carried on forward, ladies and gentlemen, even in the upcoming map, because that's where it's all going to come down to. The map of Pearl, that's going to be the decider.
Definitely, and this decider is definitely going to be really, really good.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit most of these, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 Line. It's time to play.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
Presenting Hyundai i20 Line. It's time to play.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit most of these, I get it in.
the times when Aster Army was on the attacking side, for them, attacking any of these sides, whether it's A, B, or C, it was like running into a brick wall. There were occasions where they were able to get the advantage, but they simply could not convert them. And that was a massive problem. Now that we're heading into Pearl, the agent selection becomes a lot more interesting. Both these teams are opting for a SOA. What do you feel about this one? Because honestly, we don't really see SOA all that much, at least not in the international VCD circuit.
Definitely, the addition of Sova, Godsend just brought it. I think they've tried again VLT and definitely it worked out like a charm for them. And introduction of Breach as well. Like they were used to some chaos earlier, or maybe they've tried Sky as well. But Breach with a Sova on Pearl, definitely we haven't seen, as you said, in the international VCD circuit. But Indian circuit are definitely trying this combination, and it has been working for them in the past matches. But if we talk about the comps, it is a mirror comp, and or just keeping a KO and Breach being the, I would say, the disparities in both the rosters. But let's see, will the KO knife will be better than a Breach fault lines?
Yeah, let's see whether the dagger can actually find the value that Aster Army need over here. We've seen quite a lot of experiments on Pearl. We've seen Harbor Viper as well. We've seen a double Sentinel as well. But this, a SOA being picked up, that's quite new. Right off the bat, utility exchange from either side. The 0 point goes to mid. Meanwhile, the recon dot on mid. And none of them reveal anything. But take a look at what God's Reign are up to. They've already sent Autumn on a reconnaissance mission towards the A site. So, God's Reign are fully aware that Aster Army are about to hit B. They're prepared for this.
And if they're able to plant B, it is going to be a very, very difficult retake, because we know the B long plant is a nightmare for every defending team, the way the team set up. But right now, Team Aster Army is trying to push up spawn, and this is going not their way, and they have lost 2 players. Could have been their advantage, but again, they try to push up spawn. They don't want to play from long, and in the meanwhile, they lost 2 players. Kohli will get stunned and will get taken down, and a clean round from Team Godsend. First time in the entire series they have won their pistol round.
Well, God's Reign. What a good adjustment from them. And you were right. If Aster Army did try to plant for long, they would have been greeted by a unpleasant surprise in the form of Autumn, who was already on the flank. So instead, Aster Army tried to take their chances by planting deep towards Pillar and then aggressing into CT. And this isn't
But
really
again,
a surprise, because Aster have always been the kind of team that love to pick up these fights, especially in the post-plant positions. And when they've already lost out on one of these members, they would much rather try to neutralize the man advantage by taking fights on their own terms, rather than letting God's Reign dictate the pace and where the fights take place.
Definitely, and I think the spawn push was kind of anticipated from God's Reign side as well, because Autumn was already on the luck. He knew that they are coming back and they have to somewhat play around the sides. And if you're trying to play on the sides, some people will definitely try to get that CT area, and they didn't have any much flashes or util to get towards the CT. They just blindly rushed towards it, and God's Reign were definitely there to welcome them with all that ghost and frenzy shots. And technical timeout is there, but again, this technical timeout should I think Aster Army should be able to rethink how they have to take the attacking side. Will they able to get some long plants? Because we know on Pearl, the majority of the teams that play Pearl, they try to take B long control and plant for long, because planting for long definitely gives them a lot of time to play post plant, just spamming through the smokes and spamming the small area, and the retakes gets little too difficult for the defending team.
I mean, but even though the long plants are mostly meta, we have seen quite a lot of variations as well, right? Pushing CT is one of those variations. We saw Velocity trying to take control of B-Link in the post-plant situations. So that also works out for you depending on what your mid setup is, or what your lurking guy is up to. So
Definitely,
planting on the B side, planting on the B side this way, at least it's a little more versatile, you know? You have plenty of options to do so. On the A side, however, most teams push out Secret only when they're at a man deficit, when they don't have the advantage of the numbers. Otherwise, even they prefer playing via Art and A main.
I think, yeah, definitely. And the A is not, if Aster Army wants to take A, they have to go towards, I think the A split has to be the way if they try to funnel out from one single choke point. Again, the A side is one of the most trickiest side to enter, because it has so many gaps. Like they are playing Aster as their main smoker, and the dugout will never be smoked off, so they'll have to fight it manually, and that kind of makes it tricky for any team to take A, and that's why we see kind of Harbor and Viper play out in this meta a lot, because the dugout region, they have to curve the wall up and smoke orbs. Kind of we need 3 smokes if we want to take the A side.
Oh, quite a slow start from God's Reign this time, which is understandable, you know. They don't want to push into Aster Army too much. They know for a fact that Aster Army will go for a force buy. They've done so in the past, so they would much rather like to keep their range. Autumn once again pushing out of A main. This is giving them so much early information. Every time Autumn spots nobody towards A main, they know for a fact that Aster Army are either going to hit B or try to take mid. This time Aster Army have already taken mid. The alarm bot will be broken and they fall back. But God's Reign are not going to make any preemptive rotations on the back of it. Instead, they have the breach fall all the way back towards water, simply to account for any of these arts and mid connections. And at the same time, they've called side to reinforce art. And now that Aster Army have made it clear that A is the intention, the rotations from God's Reign are already in place.
And they have a late lurker from mid as well to cut off rotations. I think this should be a great lurk. I think he will be able to get Water's control if he perfectly timed that, but he's holding towards the city spawn, and I think he will get the timing on one more guy, and Vipo will fall to Wing, and I think one more takes should be able to get down as well, and a perfect lurk coming on from Wing, gets 2 players down, and this force is definitely working out for Team Aster Army only if they can get the spike down within the next 7 seconds.
One enemy remaining.
Oh my goodness. This was way rougher than I thought it would be. You know, the spike was dropped quite early on, so I thought God's Reign should be able to get this without breaking a sweat. But oh boy, they don't just sweat, they bleed quite a lot. This would be one of the first times that God's Reign was on the verge of losing the second round. Otherwise, before this, they've been phenomenal in these second rounds, regardless of whether they win the pistol or not.
Definitely. I think this comes down to because Aster Army forced this round, so again they are forced on an eco on the third round. It's not be a full buy, and this eco round should be God's Reign way, because the way that this map plays around, they have small quarters, and the God's Reign setup is working perfectly for them, and Autumn is set up again with the operator on B long and should be able to take out at least one player with him.
Alright, so they've discovered the Marshal. But that shot from Kishi, that was deadly now. Hey, now that Sai's dead, it still doesn't make a difference from God's Reign. They can afford to leave this B-Link area empty. They've still got the KJ util placed over here. The Nano Swarm will delay Aster Army just a little bit, but instead of heading directly in towards any of these sites, they're gonna let this guy sneak in towards cons. Now, Kohli can be the difference maker over here. Unlike last time, you don't have the breach marking waterfall. He can go in for a backstab, but there won't be a backstab required when God's Reign push the front lines ahead. The spray and pray from Tix gets them too, but the site is still in shambles.
And this looked like a more costly round than it should have been. Just sheriffs from the side of Aster Army approving God's Reign down, and I think the operator safe could come up close because they don't want to risk an operator against the opponent team's eco round, and I think we both will play a crucial role right now, because if he's able to get one, definitely Autumn will be able to get onto the side, but I think Kohli will push out and take down Autumn, and this was definitely not expected. A dugout push now. I don't think that was a flash there. He's trying to my Peter strike to take in, but the plant is a very awkward spot, and this will be try to a wall bang. But again, here's an half, and will be able to get the diffuse. A cheeky diffuse, a ninja will be pulled off, and Kohli will definitely take the kill, but God's Reign will take the round.
I mean, you call it a ninja diffuse when the enemies are falling back from the side, and then you sneakily get inside and stick it. Is this a ninja? Because, you know, this was more like in his face. It wasn't sneaky at all. It was basically a bold statement that Vibhor made over there. A turret marking one side. He's brave enough to stick it, making sure that his enemy can't peek from the other side. And this is such an
I don't think
embarrassing...
Kohli recognized it was halved. So I think Kohli tried, maybe it was just fake tap, and Kohli didn't recognize he was going for the full diffuse, and he was trying to play some time and expected Vibo to, I think, to peek from the left hand side, but definitely Vibo stuck it through the entire bush. But again, Godson won the round, but this round is going to be their eco round. They lost a lot of weaponry in the last round, and they just have Sheriff and a Hero Vandal for side rooms.
Hero Vandal indeed. And to deal with the Hero Vandal, they're using the blind ult, something that Kohli does often. But this time he doesn't connect. Flank from Autumn is detected, but in the past, Aster Army have only seen Autumn flank. Do they know that this time it's a triple flank instead? Doxer's in a lot of trouble. He's about to face all of them at the same time, and in case Doxer falls, Dominic's watching the cross. Nobody else coming in from B-Link yet, so all the pressure's gonna be on Vapor to make a move. And his position's given away, but he doesn't have the timing. There's just way too much heat onto God's Reign. The Hero Vandal falls, and Aster Army step up. Dix can at least recover the weapon back. But what can he possibly do? This round is not gonna go in his favor.
Definitely. And finally, Aster Army on the winning wave. And the plan was definitely not the meta plan. They tried to get somewhat around the sides again, as you said, mentioned earlier, that Aster Army is trying to play around the side and take CT control or even the B-Link control. And I think God's Reign know that, and that's why they are again and again trying to get some kills on the flank and trying to get the B-Long in their favor and try to pinch out Aster Army, who are just on the side. And I think the pinch kind maybe worked if they had the equal weaponry, but again, this round could be a crucial one because maybe they are going for the B hit again. If they try to B hit, they will try to play on the side as again, and a fake smoke to cross. This time, Autumn just trying to ADS with the Vandal, would not connect any shot, will fall back, and A-Long is again open yet again. B-Long rather.
Still very brave of him to continue peeking through it. Keep in mind that God's Reign have a 4-stack on the B side, so not only do they have the weaponry, but they've also got the lockdown and the numbers over here. Surprisingly, God's Reign don't have anyone pushing out of A main this time, so on just the basis of a turret on mid and bold assumption about Aster Army's playstyle, they have correctly stacked this site. And just when Aster Army start to fall back, so do God's Reign. The read is perfect, even though God's Reign aren't actively doing anything to gather information. They just know.
Just
Right
instincts from God's Reign, and
Yeah.
these instincts worked in Haven as well. Like they knew what Aster Armies are planning, and all the mid-round calls were definitely on point. And again, they are trying to re-hit B, and it's kind of they're trying to sell the fake, and definitely will sell the fake perfectly. And if you look at Sun, he's still in the base, and he knew that is kind B
30
push,
seconds
and
left.
all of God Reign have rotated except for Tix, and Tix is just stuck in the dugout region, and this dugout is very, very difficult to just take control of. No one is pushing the spawn as of now. They have taken Art's control, and this Art control would not be contested because all of the Godwin team is coming out from the CT spawn.
Bomb grenade out.
Yeah, so the first line positions of Aster Army are mainly reliant on their nanoswarm, which will already be activated. The shock dart was given just to break the nanoswarm, but it's a bit too late. Rolling Thunder doesn't really connect, so God's Reign are gonna have to fight their way through. Battle to battle, edge to edge. God's Reign try to push the envelope. Hoax and Autumn continue striking now. They're going in for the kills, and Autumn is on a killing spree. Tix is already defusing. Dominic can try his best to kill the diffuser, but it's already down to halfway point. And God's Reign have this in the bag.
Defend this reality.
Definitely, and the lurk from Kohli, the late lurk from Waters could have been the move from this round, but again, Autumn got that read. Kohli didn't make any noise, but yet again, Autumn just knew where the players could be, and this plant was kind of open, so he expected a CT push, and definitely that timing on that kill was just perfect. If he hadn't gotten the kill of Kohli, this round could have gone otherwise, but no, God's Reign stack up their fort, and definitely it will be a timeout for Team Aster Army because they know they are trying to get those sites, but again, the conversion rate is not falling in their way.
Yeah, and getting that meter to move up with the conversion rate, it's gonna be quite difficult. Aster Army, you're gonna have to make some drastic changes. So far, without even using too much utility or any sort of aggression, God's Reign have just figured out what Aster Army would be doing. It's partially based on the homework that they did and on the confirmation bias that was given to them by Autumn pushing out on round number 1 and 2. And because that confirmation bias now starts to tick in, God's Reign can make those bold assumptions and still be correct, even though in this particular round they didn't actively gather information. But imagine what's gonna happen when God's Reign actually start to make those moves, when they actually start to push out a mid. We haven't seen that from God's Reign yet, but once that starts happening, Aster Army will be in even more danger.
Definitely, just the passive hold of God's Reign is proving really, really good for them. And again,
That'll
if they
wreck.
track the mid control, definitely it is going to be a nightmare for Team Aster Army. And again, they are going for the A hit. They will try to sell the fake, and think this fake should work out, but look at Autumn. He's pushing again and he'll try to get one, but no support from the players. And finally, they'll try to get the peak, but Autumn is still surviving in a stack of 4 players. And this was just lucky enough for Autumn to get out of the situation, because generally, you play up that close, you're definitely good for one and then get traded out.
Well, at least they didn't get traded out. No frags exchanged, so Aster still have a lifeline. But maybe Tix wants to cut that lifeline off with this aggression. Because they've spotted Autumn towards the B side, Aster will probably not expect someone to push out of A. Least of all, an Astra, because she doesn't even have any potential to fall back. This is a one and done position for Tix. And he's just looking to take as many lives down with him as he can. Moment of reckoning is upon him. He finds the spike.
Down,
the most crucial
spawn.
player is dead. So even if Tix loses his life right now, it will be completely okay. He's given away so much information to his team.
And again, in the mid, they have lost one more player. Like, the hold on B has been lost. And Doxer coming out huge in this round. Got 2 for himself. And now just down to V4. And Hawks right now. And a clean hit. The Blaze Storm is definitely the game changers of today's game. And again, Dominic will take down Hawks as well. And Aster Army, all their aggression have been properly, I would say, countered. Because as you said, no one expects Astra to push up A long and sit that deep in this spawn, but he got the spike down, but should have repositioned or could have maybe set a step back, but again, he was just traded instantly, and that trade maybe pushed God's Reign, I think, all over the place in their defense, and they lost 2 players on B, which kind of just crushed all their defensive utilities.
Yeah, that's true, but then again, you have to admit that Aster were able to win this on the basis of their firepower and gun pool alone. If Doxer wasn't able to get those 2 kills on B, it still would have been game over, because even though Doxer got 2 kills, the rotation from God's Reign was still accurate towards the A side, so they knew where Aster were headed. This time it's a very aggressive push from the Jet in towards Shop, and since he doesn't find anyone, once again, God's Reign figured out that it's a hit. And they're losing so much utility to stop this plant. There's a fragment, there's an aftershock, there's a Hunter's Fury. Everything except the kitchen sink has been thrown in at Aster and they have been stopped in their tracks, marred to death.
A util dump, a complete util dump from Gordon, and this is what I was talking about in the pre-match. Again, if you want to take the A side, you have to get the art control, because you don't have that third smoke on the dugout, so that gets completely left open, and that sheriff shot was clearly there. And again, they didn't have that art control. They were just funneling out towards the side from a one single point, and the util dump was insane, and that util was enough to shut down Aster Army, and a very easy thrifty, I would rather say, fall in the hands of God's Reign. They are a 5-2. Definitely they have secured enough rounds on their defense, because generally this is considered somewhat around a 5 to 6 round. If you are able to get on the defensive side, you are in a good spot.
Well, Doxer has the lockdown, so maybe this can be the saving grace. God's Reign this time once again switching up the aggro spot. The Opera is pushing down towards B long, and since he doesn't spot anyone, once again, Aster Army's read will be completely nullified. God's Reign, luckily for Aster Army, haven't started moving yet. And they've given up so much control of mid. B-Link is clear, that's partially because Sai is marking it, but the art control that Aster Army have is not being contested by God's Reign at all. Instead, Hoax is just marking water in case somebody from Aster Army decides to get curious and tries to go in for a flank.
Definitely, and again, they have the arts control. They will go for the execute. Smoked out dugout, and definitely they will get into the side right now. But again, the util dump is going to be insane with that ultimate, and I think Tix will get one through the smoke. And this, the first frag on Wing definitely going to be crucial. And they try to get toward the spawn, and this was not a wise decision. They kind of overheated and lost 2 crucial players. It is a 2v3. The spike is not down yet. But again, they will go for the spike down, and they Gorzin is just, I would say, calmly waiting for the third player to arrive in a 3v2 scenario.
They've been spotted. They know everyone's towards arts. Aster Army have no choice but to pick up these fights on their own terms. They can't afford to let God's Reign dictate when these fights will take place. Shorty action in the smoke. Coley surviving on his last legs. He's bleeding internally, hemorrhaging. The fault line covers the entire ground, and he cannot escape. They both head towards him, spam through the wall, and this is how it gets done. God's Reign are cool, calm, and collected.
Not your day, is
It's
it?
quite surprising to see how God's Reign, despite giving away so much control on Art as well as Link, are still able to read what Aster Army is doing. At one point, you might even start to think that God's Reign are giving up these areas deliberately because they want to create a highway for Aster Army, basically funneling them into the A site where God's Reign have better defense.
Definitely, this surely has to be the way because no one is holding the mid lane. They are not trying to get mid information. They are just playing all around on instinctive decisions. Even when Sai was smoked out, he kind of knew that no one is lurking towards him. No one is in the mid. He just got some shots, and again, the defensive positions was unchanged despite the smoke trying to being sold off to him. But again, God's Reign is very, very passive in their defense, and that defensive approach, the passive approach, is working for them. Just the two aggressive plays that we have seen has been from one B long push and one A long push. Rather than that, all the players are perfectly tucked into the side. They know they want Aster Army to come up close and definitely get those frags in.
Well, just like always, God's Reign give up on Art, and that is completely okay. They're comfortable with that. In fact, a bit too comfortable, and I wonder when Aster Army will start to realize that this is a trap, and they're playing right into God's Reign's arms. This time at least, the turret that was marking B-Link has been broken. The smoke that has been put up to make sure nobody like a Hoax or a Sai, who's generally playing in that region, can peek out, has now also dissipated. So the only positive thing that's working out for Aster Army is the fact that they've managed to get deep in that region. So
30
now the
seconds
duelist turns into the lurker. But what's going to be the point of this lurk when Autumn can shut down the frontline aggression? He's not even being contested.
And again, the rotation path from Team God's Reign has been very superior. They're not going towards mid. They know they can be a lurking. And again, if you look at Sai's positioning, he's watching towards the border again and again. All God's Reign, always someone has position in that similar area to punish that lurk. And just look at Autumn. He's going for the ace. 4K with an operator. Definitely will try to get that ace. We'll give it to him. Definitely give it to him at this point. And nope. I think we'll try to save. Okay, finally, Hoax will take him down. That God's Reign team gave entire chance to Autumn to secure the 8, but whiffing from blame him for that. Like, Spectre at long range is kind nutty gun.
But this would have been the most unimpressive case. You know, these shots were too simple. It's like a piece of cake. He didn't even have to try to flip to his enemies. They just basically walked into his crosshairs. And Hawk stealing away that last kill, I think he can be forgiven.
Yeah, maybe this could be like, doesn't matter. It was an eco round. Let me just finish off with the 4K. But again, if you look at this round, a B long aggression. All 5 players from B, and I think they don't have any much. So I think God's Reign will fall back for that. I would say the retake setup, and they are trying to not lose as many players as possible, but Tix is holding the tubes area, and again Wink with the perfect shot. If Tix could have been there, this could have been an easier retake, but now they are on a 4v5 and the side control is completely lost.
Ooh, banger of a shot. Now that's the kind of shots you want to see from the Opper. Lockdown placed. Aster Army are desperate to break it. They try to force these fights, but they end up losing a lot of members. Doxor steps up, but he gets detained. It will be up to Wink to somehow be the bodyguard, and he is.
Wow. Like, this is one of the strangest rounds we have seen on Pearl. Like, the spikes planted on side, the KJ's ultimate lockdown is there as well, and the attacking team tried to push spawn, and despite the fact the one player has been detained, they still come out on top. This is like one of the strangest rounds we have seen, and all thanks to Doxer's 2K, because if not that 2K come up earlier, this round could have been lost. But God's Reign, they knew that Aster Army are not playing for long. They are playing for side control and tried to push spawn again and again. And they have tried that twice in the B area and definitely had worked both times.
Finally a round where the weaponry advantage doesn't seem to be a problem for either side.
Deploying drone.
Plenty of ultimates available on them though. This cosmic divide that takes Ash can be used for great hitting. And Coley this time with confirmed kills.
Wow.
Unlike the blind ults that he usually has in his arsenal, this time he tagged someone and that's what he used to get the frags. But then the other Sova reveals the world to Vibor, who captures it in his palms, enfolding the site for himself. But Dominic and Goalie rack up the kill feed. Oh my lord. Godsrain had everything going for them. Maybe Autumn can be the surgeon. The precision strikes twice. And he's spotted the third one. Like a bird in the sky, like an Apache attack helicopter, he descends upon the site. Can Doxer win this one out? Oh, juicy! So clean, so precise. He strikes thrice.
Aster Army was just able to get towards the round of the sheer firepower, but against Autumn, they all fall short. A 1v3 with the Blaze Storm, and Autumn was just superior. They were able to, he didn't want to go for the bodies, all just one tap each and every one. And as you said, a bird in the sky, and no one was able to hit a single shot towards that bird. And these two were just completely clean shots. And I don't think no one would expect that a wide swing from that area. Generally, people try to get the diffuse and half, but Autumn has the confidence to just wide swing with that Blaze Storm and get the play down.
I think I should stop using the whole bird in the skyline. It's getting a bit too old, you know? This is more akin to the lines of a dragon. A very scary one, that too. This time, let's see what he has in store for us. He's planted the orb towards the screen side. He gets tagged, but he's still bold enough to repeat the angle. The confidence on this man is just through the roof, and why wouldn't it be? Especially when you pull off one of the most visually spectacular clutches of the game. But the setup for God's Reign has indeed changed. The Killjoy setup is lithered on the art region. The A site is full of these tiny little trinkets and gadgets, which will make it difficult for Aster Army to move in. So far, it's not been a difficulty, but this round, it will be. Lockdown doesn't really help them clear the site, and they've lost their window of opportunity. Vibor tries to go in for the spike denial once again, but this time Dominic marking the smoke.
And I think this is going to be hard retake for them. Just two of them standing a 2v4 scenario, and Tix has his ultimate available, and I think he will able to commit it. But as of now, the positioning is not working for them, and Autumn is on an operator, so retake could be a very difficult task. And definitely Tix will get taken down from inside the Kohli. A 1-4 scenario for Autumn will be good for one and will get instantly traded. And Aster Army secured their 4th round, and 8-4 swap will definitely would be enough for Aster Army. Like, they will be happy they have secured 4 rounds, because all the rounds were definitely not looking favorable until this one.
You know, happiness is a human construct, so I wouldn't exactly try to decipher the mood of Aster Army. They did seem like they had a lot of control of the map, but they were still not able to convert it. And that's what Aster Army thinks. We, on the other hand, we know the truth. This whole setup was orchestrated by God's Reign to give them a small sense of security and lull them into numbness. Well, let's see if God's Reign can continue the brain games in the second half, but for that, we'll have to take a little break. See you.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back to Omen presents the NODWIN Gaming Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and our grooming partner is none other than Philip Swankley. So far, God's Reign are looking like a very sharp blade that's cutting through the skin and the guts of Aster Army. Can this blade deliver the finishing blow? Can it cut the head off completely clean from the shoulders? We'll find out soon, ladies and gentlemen. Aster Army have already played in a very aggressive fashion towards B. Wink all the way towards the top. Kishi marking it, and in case somebody ventures down B link, you've got the Astra present over there. Kishi destroys the drone, hoping to set up a fake and hoping to distract them away from the fact that Wink is, Wink is present over there. but they fall for the trap regardless. And Asrami are forced to relinquish this area. God's Reign now, after having shown their presence towards the B side, are comfortable falling back. But Autumn will commit to the attack.
And yes, and he's there to punish anyone trying to get the belong. Infinite and a jump peak will definitely spot him out as well. And God's Reign are going towards the setup on A side, and this setup can be deadly, especially in the pistol round when you don't have enough health to get towards that nano swarms area. And again, they have no arts control, so all of the attack has to be funneled out from the one single side. And definitely the utilities will be enough to stall them enough for longer towards the Aster army coming back towards the retake. And again, before the spike goes down, Vivo is good for one, and Kishi is out of the equation, so no more 0 point has to be used. And if you look at Autumn, he had got the late lurk towards the art, and this lurk could be crucial if God's Reign want to win this round.
If they want to win this round, dude, obviously they want to win this round. They're gonna go for it. But there's smoke in the way, so the best that God's Reign can do is just continue spamming. Autumn has a clear line of sight. He's not blocked by any smoke, so he's gonna go on a mission to kill everybody that he sees. God's Reign, keep it clean. You can already feel the tilt on Vandalik.
A pistol round flawless, how many times have we seen that earlier? And generally we see players get at least 1 or 2 frags, but the crossfire setup from God's Reign perfect in the position, and they just got the plant, get off the side and let Autumn get the late luck, so they don't have to worry about anything from the arts or a quick half defusal. But now the pistol round lost. I think this is one of the rounds which Aster army needed so badly if they wanted to make that 8-4 come back towards their side. But if we look at the defense right now, they are just again trying to aggress towards mid, and I think God's Reign is kind of ready with that Killjoy turret as well.
Slow and steady wins the race, at least that's what they say. But Aster army, they're neither playing slowly nor they're playing steadily. They've given away the ace side. No KJ util present over there either. This should be a free one for God's Reign, unless Aster army can pick up the heat in the retake situation.
Yes, and I think Wing with the shotty should be able to get one if someone try to aggress the smoke, but the way Gordon are playing, they just get the spike down and then move out of the side, and the spike is planted completely in the open, so have to be played from any side. But Doxer is good for Autumn, and I think this first frag should be enough, but Tex is a very tricky spot and definitely will be good for one and will be get faded out instantly. A 3v2 scenario, but definitely superior weaponry from Team God's Reign will be enough for them to secure the round.
Sai got team flash, but that's still okay. He's gonna spray them down without any problems. God's Reign get double digits without even breaking a sweat. And now Aster army can finally put up a little resistance. A little money in the bank. A little grease on their palms. Let's see if they can strangle God's Reign and force them into submission.
And I think a timeout is required right now because 10-4's half and you have lost all your pistol rounds. And again, this is the most crucial round for Aster army. This has to be the buy round and they have to convert it. If they lose this, they will be forced on an eco round, which will in turn let God's Reign towards the map point, and Aster army would not want that to happen. And I think Vandalik is stating something. Maybe they try to aggress mid again, they try to take some control, because as we know, Aster armies, the aggressive plays they make, the gunfire power they have, they can make God's Reign really uncomfortable if they try to go for that mid push.
You see the difference in the expressions of both these people. Abhishek looks so calm and composed, meanwhile Vandalik is on edge. Sorry, by Abhishek I mean Godspeed. I'm used to referring to him on first name basis. But either way, you can already feel the primal tilt on this guy. The agitation, the nervousness, the heart racing at 1,000 beats per minute. All of those combined factors might just play a role in God's Reign knocking Aster army out of this tournament. And while Aster army have really impressed us all so far, this could be their last few moments in the BCSA. Autumn picking up the pace. Okay, that's a fast one now. straight up dashing in towards Cons. He did not even have all that much information. He was just hoping that he can get the frags regardless of whoever's on the other side. And while the dink is there, it doesn't help him secure the body bag. Only a tag for now. Wink about to peek into 3 people. This could be a disaster. Yep, he decides against it. Would much rather fall back and play along with his fellow Killjoy rather than give them up of a frag for free.
Definitely, and if you look at Cole's HP, he's just down to 4 health right now, so he will definitely try to peel from
Wow!
that. Blink is good for 2, and definitely this aggression is definitely working out for Team Aster Army. Some good first frags, and now they are in a complete driving seat, and I think they will be able to get one more because Doxer is in an off-angle position, takes down Hawks as well. Now it's all down to Vibo, who has a Spectre, and is down to mid. The spike is down. I don't think Vibo is able to do much in this round because God's Reign have just... I think the weapon disadvantage kinda made sense to take the mid control, but again, they have lost so much and could not maybe just take down Wink, and maybe if Cole's frag could have been there, the round would be a win for them.
Yeah, but that's a lot of ifs and maybes. I think God's Reign are okay with giving away this round, since this is supposed to be their bonus in the first place.
I got the
Born, now on a mission to deal economic damage. Can only afford to pick up this one Vandal that's lying over there. Make sure that nobody pushes him, so he's gonna toss a Nano Swarm and just farm up on the ultimate orbs. Better something than nothing.
And Cole is just surviving on 4 HP. I think this could have been Autumn's round as well if he got that first frag. And again, it's all ifs and buts. And this round was much needed for Team Aster Army. And I think all that timeout talk definitely worked out in their favor, and this aggressive plays from Aster Army working out in their way. And the 10-5 scoreline now should have some value towards this round because both teams are on a full buy, and the winner of this round will force the other team on an eco. So this has to be again a crucial round for Team Aster Army because losing even one round from here will make things difficult for them.
0-point dodge by God's Reign. They've always waited this one out. And that's partially why this 0-point from Kishi hasn't really found much value. Not just in Pearl, but even on maps like Ascent, it has been a problem. You know he wants to peek out. You can just feel it in his body. The fact that he wants to jump peek across and gather information, even though he knows there's 5 Vandals rattling across on the other side, can tell you how much bloodlust he harbors inside him. But that would be counterproductive. So he waits now. A semi-crossfire setup between Kishi and his fellow Astra. V-Link and the back hall's now covered, but the crossfire is dismantled by Autumn. He jumps into the smoke. This man is disrespectful. Come on, that was a good crossfire that Aster Army had. It just takes 2 cloudbursts to completely rip it apart. It's that easy? Come on, you can't afford to fall like that. It's like a house of cards in a hurricane. They are blown away. And now the spike's planted for long. No backstab for Aster Army, so they will have to fight this man on man. Vandal on Vandal. And it's just gonna boil down to these gunfights.
And again, the plan is in the same spot that Aster Army was trying, but the difference is that Aster Army was playing from the side, but God's Reign is trying to play from long, but the diffuser is hidden, but not to Hawks. He will just swing out wide, take down one, and I think this is going to be very difficult for Diffuse, and this is what we were talking about. The default B-Long plant is a nightmare for all the defending teams because you just can't take B-Long control if you don't have a lurker.
Unless you have a harbor, which can make things slightly easier. But then again, you don't have Reckoning in this tournament anymore, so those hyper weapon will not be a factor. Either way, the problem over here wasn't the fact that they had to face off against God's Reign in this awkward 4v3 post-plant situation. The problem was the crossfire got deleted. And it's not like the crossfire was bad or anything. That was a pretty standard crossfire. B-Link and backhalls. You punish anyone from God's Reign who's trying to enter CT or go into heaven. That crossfire is not built to stop the plant. It's only built to punish over-aggression. And what did this Autumn do? He over-aggressed. Still got away unpunished. And look at this man. He is an absolute monster. But if these monsters have a little sense of decency, they pick and choose their prey. He picks everyone apart. Kishi burns alive. And that's an early Viking funeral. This ship is sinking.
It's just the autumn show, and he got 3k again, and this guy is just running riots right now,
Right, on
again
my way.
and again. All the frags that he got should have not have been gone his way, but the way he's getting all the skills and the way Godzin are setting him up for all those frags looks a complete team, and definitely this round will force Aster Army Kohli to be on the save round, and I think this is not looking good for them. They got one round after that timeout talk, but after that nothing is looking in their favor, and all thanks to Autumn and the way God's Rain are just dumping down the utilities with the fort line, coming up with that nano swarm, taking control of each and every segment of the B side area, and Aster Army are not able to control anything on their half.
I'm glad that you mentioned the word segment, because that's exactly what this whole take feels like. God's Rain are taking this map control on the B side piece by piece. They isolate and exterminate. They use all the utility to make sure that Aster Army can't peek out. And when they can't peek out, any one particular player who's hoping to play on contact of his teammates will not be able to do so. So the crossfires get broken, timings get thrown apart, and in case anybody is still brave enough to fight, will get blinded with the flashes. And then Autumn just makes it look so easy. I mean, all throughout this game, he's been hitting shots like it's just another day in the office.
And again, no player from Aster Army has a response to all that aggression that Autumn is showing. He's just running riot, like he just dashes into them, into their faces, and takes down two players, one with the Vandal, another with the Shorty, and he's just playing a casual game, and no one has the answer to that. And again, this lockdown will force out everyone out of the side, will take control, and again, if you look at Autumn, he's trying to push up spawn, he's trying to take Hall's control all by himself, and definitely this would be enough for them to take the spike down, and the spike is in complete open, so they will play from B long, and we know the B long plant is getting very, very difficult with a single smoker, someone from Aster. But look at Autumn, he just closed down Kohli with the right click, will be good for one, will get traded out. But now let's see, will Aster Army be able to take this retake?
At least there's a barrage of smokes in the way, so if there's no defenders from the spans, they can at least make sure that the visual denial is present. Hunter's Fury and the Rolling Thunder get exchanged, and that keeps the diffusers away from the spike. It even kills Kohli. It's quite funny how he dies to the aftershock of all things. Doctor trying to fight his hardest, trying to fight back, but he will be overwhelmed. Aster Army have been eliminated from this tournament. God's Rain reigns supreme.
And this is the kind of performance we expected from an informed God's Rain team. They defeated Velocity yesterday, and now they just ran riots over Aster Army, and the complete team is looking really, really strong. And all the strategies, all the instinctive decisions they were able to pull out, Aster Army had no response whatsoever. Somewhat down the line, they looked good in some of the rounds, but again, the mid-round calling from Team God's Rain were just far more superior, and all the defensive setups they had, all the pre-plan they had were just enough for them to win the round.
Yeah, I mean, in the first half, it seemed like God's Rain were completely reading their opponents without even actually making proactive moves. And in the second half, it was just the Autumn show. We'll discuss this in greater detail on the other side of this break.
Can't feel my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. We're known for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. We're known for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. See as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we